29.
28.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
22. 21.
20.
19.
18.
17.
16.
15.
14.
13. 12.
11.
10.
8.
6.
6. What happened to 7?
7.
5.
4.
3.
2. 1. 0.
Hell, if it's just gonna be Murky and Dave, I could have done this in the Gilded server. I've been talking with those guys all goddamn day. Well, hello, everyone. You know why I use a 30-second countdown? You want to know the real reason why I use a 30-second countdown like that at the beginning? It's because if I say F, if I drop an F-bomb in the first 30 seconds, the live feed gets demonetized. Once you get past that first 30 seconds, you're safe. So I do a 30-second countdown after I start. That's why. Guys, we got some stuff in that I'm going to unbox, but I'm not going to do it. There's only 4 people here. We got to get more than 4. You better start calling your friends. Call your friends. Tell them to get in here. But before that, the one I wanted to use wouldn't work. I'll try it again later. Oh, yeah. I saw Havoc's thing. It disappeared. I logged in and logged out. Hey, by the way, Havoc, I guess, is going in for some treatment. I can't see the comment because I saw it and logged out, logged back in. So where's Pauline? I don't know. Pauline, no, we can't call him the names that we were calling him in the Gilded server because those would be considered inappropriate. I do have to show you guys something that did come in. On Sunday, you guys saw the video, first day in pockets on this. I'm pretty impressed. This is that PMP big boy that came in from Winston Cobretti. I'm going to have to do do a video that is the Cobretti collection because this is the 3rd knife he has given me as a gift. I like this. I think he really hit the nail on the head with the exception of the pocket clip. He really hit the nail on the head with something I would like. 14C28N, super thin behind the edge. As you can see, it just disappears behind the edge, literally. Yeah, you guys can see it. I can't. It looks like an XL0562. So that must be a ZT model because they're the only ones that name their models the O something. Oh. Guys, I'm not going to lie. This might not be a real energetic live feed. I was sharpening and doing a bunch of stuff. I just pulled the green screen out of the washer and dryer because, well, the cat threw up on it. So I laid it down and I was getting stuff put away because I was supposed to have jury duty all week and I got dismissed because apparently some of my opinions make me not a good juror for a criminal trial. The judge specifically said, she's like, hey, you know, this is the 2nd time I've had to dismiss you. I distinctly remember for the same pretty much reason. She's like, I think you'd be more for a civil trial. She's like, you would be a good juror for a civil trial, not necessarily a criminal trial. So now this thing is really good. 14C28N, nice and light, big broad blade, super skinny. I haven't looked anything up on it, so please don't say anything about it. Action on it is great. It honestly pushed my Norseman out of my pocket for a day. That didn't last very long. It's in my waistband right now. I'm carrying both of them. So, but I had jury duty today and I had to be downtown early as shit. And not that I mind getting up early and doing things early. We know that's not a problem. Like Polly was like, oh, you got to get out of bed before 10 and do adult stuff. I'm like, no, I'm up pretty early doing adult stuff every day. I just hate driving downtown San Diego. Any of you have ever driven downtown San Diego, downtown Los Angeles, downtown San Jose, San Francisco, those areas, you all know driving downtown anywhere in a big city in California is ridiculous. So iced coffee. But I did get a package from Beardo the Weirdo. And I figured we would unbox it, but I don't want to do it with only, where is everyone? We have live feeds. We got like 40, 50 people. Now we have 11. tell you something I do know about our paying member, Beardo. Apparently he smokes. Apparently he smokes cigarettes. So I have, looks like 4 knives in here. Let's read the note. It says, I was like, it says nothing. It's blank. I have to read it. Here are some knives to review, here are some knives to review. Review whichever ones you want and return at your leisure. You can keep as a gift. Alan Greywolf, nice to see you. I don't think I've seen you in one of my live feeds. So these came in. Rubicon, where have you been, buddy? Who else is live tonight? Usually Mondays, there's no one else live. So first one that we have in is the O knife. This is the one I hadn't got to see yet. This is the O knife Drever, I guess. New to my content. Well, welcome. I hope I earned your subscription. If you came over from Jared's channel, Jared and I are pretty good friends. This is comfortable. I like this. I'm digging this. Oh, okay. I'm gonna be on Ray's I think the 6th of April. So I believe that's the plan. I'll let you guys know for sure. So that's the Olight Drever. Not sure. Please, guys, don't get upset. I completely ran out of time. I was sharpening a knife for a customer and setting up to do a video later tonight. I just want to get a bunch of stuff ahead because my wife has to have surgery. Oh, okay. So this is the Hogue Elijah. I can't ever pronounce his name. You guys know who I'm talking about. Nice little Hogue here. It definitely needs some fixing of the asymmetrics on the edge, but this is that Elishewitz. Oh, I like this. It's a nice little button lock. Nice little button lock. I don't necessarily think you need a secondary lock. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. All's well. My wife has some polyps in her uterus that she has to have removed to prevent them from becoming cancerous. So she came home and she told me that she was going to have surgery next month. It's nothing big. She's in and out. I do not use DMT diamond stones. Well, kind of. Just for reprofiling. I use the Atoma 140 for reprofiling, Kevin. But at any rate, so she was trying to tell me she was going to there was a couple options. You know, we're both getting older. We have things going on. So she has a lot of pain when it's that time of month. And so one of the options is they're going to take out these polyps because they could turn into cancer in the future. And we don't want that. I love my wife. I want her around as long as possible. And so that was something we agreed on. But they were also saying that the only thing that would resolve the pain issue she's having is to have a full hysterectomy. She doesn't want that. So at any rate, she came home, I got home from jury duty. She came home from work and she told me that she was having her lollipops removed. And I looked at her and the thing that went into my mind was, I love this woman so much. She, by accident, said the funniest thing I'd heard all day. I was in a shitty mood, just got back from jury duty. And I'm like, you know what? That's funny. She didn't even intend it. That was like, babe, lollipops are candy. You mean polyps. So at any rate, this is going to be a giveaway. Will B is in Ohio. I forgot that you're from Ohio. I'm from Ohio as well. Maybe we'll do an all Ohio live feed. So this goes in the giveaway bin. This is the Hogue X1MF. Action on that is really cool. It's got a weird, like little, right? Like it's a button lock, but then it like, that's kind of cool. I like it. It's almost like a double detail. It does have a secondary lock on it. Chuck it. What? Did you get my package? That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right now. we're going through the stuff you sent. Southward, yeah, that's right. I forget, man. I know, all honesty, I used to be so good. Like I could remember everyone's name by their screen name and their actual name through interactions. I need to see my doctor. My memory is, and I don't want to blame the cabbage, because even back then I was utilizing the cabbage. Green screen. This is my actual house. Okay, so I think this is the mini. Beardo, is this the mini? Right. Well, I mean, hell, I could check. It's easy to check. My case is over here. Yeah. So this is the mini horizon. Because as you can see, my regular horizon is significantly larger. It's a green screen, dude. I was joking. Yes, it's absolutely a green screen. So, you know what? I was doing it, Christian. I was taking stuff from my memory, and I kept forgetting to take it. So it just didn't work. Apparently, I need a really heavy dose up front to remember me to take it. So this is the mini horizon in all titanium. So we'll put that back in the box with the other one. So this all came in for review from Beardo the Weirdo, like I said. What's this last one? Oh, that's right. He told me he was going to send me this. This is that Vera. This is a big knife. Beardo, you're going to have to send me a list of what all these are. That's the thing. It's the next box. I'm opening them both. I have 3 boxes of stuff that I'm going through. So instead of doing 3 separate unboxings, we're going to do all 3 of them tonight. So the next box I have to get off the shelf is yours and Daniel, I can't remember, custom EDC knives. It's big. It's big, but it's one of those ones where it kind of feels like, I don't know. I don't know if that was meant for 2 fingers or not, but okay, I'm gonna say something unpopular. This is not a bad knife. I still don't like it. I have, like, his designs are solid. I just don't, they're just not for me. And people get really upset about that when you say that. It does have a nice action though. So that was the last one in Murky's box. We're gonna put all his knives in there, nice and neat. Or not Murky, Beardo's box. Beardo, you definitely need to do a better job of packaging this, because it was split on that side when it came. So hopefully there was only 4 knives in there. If there wasn't, I'm not liable. Let's go get, well, Murky, yours will be last. Murky, yours is going to be last because this is Daniel stuff. This is custom EDC. I'll do yours last because actually I should have done this one first. Yours was in the middle, so we'll do the middle last. So I've wanted to get to see this for a while. This is a 940 with the transparent knives. Yeah, it's all in there. Was it just 4 knives? So this is the Benchmade 940 with transparent knives or transparent blades. Reblade. Man, that's driving me nuts. Let me see. I think it's the background. Give me a second to change the background here. Something dark. Let's go with that. There we go. Is that better? Yeah. See, sometimes those backgrounds are worse than others. Oh, I should grab my fleece that Winston sent me. I put my Rebel Scum patch on it. That's better. So this is a transparent knives reblade, and it's got the aluminum scales on it. The action on it is a little tight. I'm going to play with it and see if I can't loosen that action up. So Here's the thing. I wouldn't buy one to reblade it. While this is cool, it's a completely different knife. I like the 940. Don't ask me why. I like it. It makes a lot of appearances in my videos. But anyway, so this is the Benchmade 940 with the aftermarket aluminum scales and a transparent knives reblade. So the 940 is a substandard knife. It really is. But for some reason, I love it so much. I love all the Osborne designs. Even the Contigo. It's a big, unwieldy, hot, spotty mess. But I like the Contigo even. And I can't put my finger on why. I just cannot put my finger on why I like that knife. But I do. I love my 940. I wouldn't part with it for a couple of reasons. One, they're expensive, and I don't want to have to get another one because I eventually would be like, yep, I got to get another one because I got rid of the one I have. And two, it was a gift. There's a couple of reasons. So I know what this is. This is the Ferrum Forge Stinger. Ferrum Forge Stinger. Ferrum Forge Stinger full tie with fat carbon fiber inlays. That is driving me nuts. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix this background. There we go. I think that did it. I think I just had the settings on it a little screwed up. So this is the Ferrum Forge Stinger production version. I think these are in Nitro V. Yeah, Nitro V titanium. And this one is a brass, and this one is copper and carbon fiber, fat carbon fiber. So that's what's in this box. Let's go ahead and put this. What is this? That's pretty nice. Yeah, Elliot's knives have got a really good aesthetic. They really are nice. I love the Stinger. I have one of the prototype ones that he gave me as a gift, and it gets a lot of pocket time. It really does. The thing that's been taking up all the time in my pocket right now, though, is this. This is another one of those ones that I'm like, either I've got to do the review on this way off from now so that I can carry it longer, or because it's my personal now. It was a gift from Winston Cabretti, or I got to do it real soon so I can get around to everything else. Because this thing is great. This is that PMP big boy. I gotta go get Murky's box. I don't like this pocket clip. I hate that pocket clip. But I like the knife enough. I'm like, you know what? I can overlook it. I gotta caffeinate. Anybody else like me? You don't really rise and shine. You just caffeinate and hope for the best. Nice Lion Steel SR2. No, it's the PMP Big Boy. And I'd never heard of PMP knives. All right, let's go get Winston's box. Winston, your videos are going to be hard to do because, buddy, I love them, but fucking fixed blades don't ever get views. So there's 3 knives in this box that he sent me. And this is just the Spyderco native. In the only reason I wanted to see this is because it's in that it's that Spy 27. And I've never gotten to sharpen it, and it's not too dull right now, but I'm going to sharpen it anyway because hey guys, it's FPV Diva. But these are the ones I was interested in, and even if I don't do videos. So this is the Sasquatch, I believe. So this is a Steingraber Performance Knives. This is in CPM 440V. This thing is thin, so thin. Blade to handle ratio is a little weird, but it works on this knife. This would be, I could see myself having this for skinning small game. This would be something that I would have carried. Like this would have been this is a great outdoors knife for a youngin. So this one is that Steingraber Performance Knives, Sasquatch. The sheath on this thing is great. So there's that one. And then, hey, Jared, I was getting ready to text you. If you sent that package out, please just send me a tracking number so I know that it's on its way, because I can't get into informed delivery. And then this one is the, okay, Murky, which one is this? Green handles. Sorry, guys. I know the name of it and I can't think of it. Is it the Shark? Something? Another great little fixed blade. Super nice. I'm waiting on Murky to answer me and tell me which one this is. I'm rendering my edits. Shark, that's what it is. So the Steingraber Performance Knife Shark. Great little fixed blade. I love this thing. I sent him pictures of these because I had already opened it. I just wanted to make sure that what was in it was in it. And so I got to texting Alex and I was like, hey, look what came in. And he goes, oh God, please be gentle. And I was like, what? He was talking about me doing the review of his knives. I was like, bro, I don't think you got anything to worry about. Good knives. Good knives. Jared, have you seen one of these yet? The PMP Big Boy? Yeah, it's kind of a translucent. It's kind of a weird translucent greenish. Looks like a towel instead of actual micarta. It looks like it might have been a green bath towel at one point. I dig it. At any rate, so this you guys got to see the unboxing of this on Sunday. This thing is amazing. 14C28N. Super thin. I haven't measured it. I haven't looked up any specs yet. It's freaking great. And like I said, we got something new for giveaway. Guys, I'm doing the giveaway. If you're a paying member, the giveaway will be done on the Gilded server. So if you're a paying member, that's where you're going to look. And I'm not going to do this, wait around for months and months and months to contact people. I literally had three giveaway knives just sitting here because I was waiting on people to contact me and stuff like that. So if I don't hear anything back in 48 hours, I'm going to pick a new winner. I have stuff for the general public giveaway, mainly because thanks to Jared and helping me out and doing some shout outs and stuff like that, we have gained 300 subscribers, honest to God, and kept them this time in like a week and a lot of views. So we pretty much doubled the view count and all that. So thank you very much, Jared. Congratulations to Jared for passing. I would imagine what he's saying is that he passed Metal Complex. Congratulations on that. I don't know if he's done his big screaming, yelling party video yet, but congratulations, buddy. Congratulations. I have a video that hit 10,000 views in a week, which is good for me. This thing is great. This thing is great. I am going to. Why can't you get into the Gilded? There's an app. You can do it on your cell phone. Stacy, I will send you a link to it on Instagram so that you can get in. It's all good. Just don't sell your liver. Yeah, I imagine somebody was saying, I think I'm going to get the smaller, like a Spyderco replacement clip, mainly because of this. Like I've only carried it for a couple days. I don't know how well you guys can see it. That really, really moves a lot. So that should tell you how much I carry knives. So thanks for coming to the party. Views are superficial. What really matters is the knives. No, views are not superficial. I get paid by the view. So you can keep that opinion to yourself. Just you keep that shit quiet, Dean. Yeah. So no, I love this thing. It's the first knife in a while that has pushed my Norseman out of my pocket. Okay, Stacy, there's some issues with the Gilded server. So what I would say is log all the way out and then try again. I was having problems where it wouldn't let me change people's status. But I can definitely see that you're in. I would say shut the app down, then turn it back on. Maybe even uninstall it, reinstall it. I bought the PMP Big Boy and the action was really soft. Is that one good? Dude, this one is, listen, it's snappy as shit. I have yet, like, it doesn't not fire. Not my Big Boy. Not Big Boy, my bad. Oh, okay. So yeah, this was the Big Boy. If you got a problem like that, you can always just see if adding a little bit of lock dart bar tension. Jared's done a video about it. I've done a video about it. Had sloppy detent. That's weird. This one is snappy and it's brand new. Like if you guys watched, it came new. Like it was still in its factory packaging. Wish the Big Boy was a liner lock. I don't in this case. I like this as a frame lock. The only thing I would change on it is pocket clip. Honestly, that's, and it, I've been carrying it. As much as I don't like the pocket clip, I'm like, you know what? I can live with the pocket clip. Should be getting a Cortex, hopefully within the week, not pushing the Zon out of my pocket yet. The Cortex is amazing. That clip sucks on that knife. This clip sucks on any knife. I don't like these, and I blame Spyderco for this. I blame Spyderco for a lot of shit, but definitely I blame Spyderco for these shitty paper clips. Okay, that's the other thing I wanted to show you. The Appalachian Drifter is great. That is one of the first top. Okay, I have a couple in that don't bother me. Let me go get them. I have two in that I like. This is out for a video. I was going to shoot it earlier and I didn't have any fucking energy. So this is that Appalachian Drifter 2 in carbon fiber and Damascus. And it's like lightning. It pops so quick. And I like, Tino brought it over and he was like, oh, if you haven't seen this yet, I just got it. And I was like, cool, let me see it. And he saw the look on my face. He goes, yes, you can hold on to it for review. I was like, no, you carry it for a little bit. And he goes, bro, it's going to wind up here within a matter of days anyway for sharpening. Oh, I missed it. But yeah, this thing is great. The only thing I've found with it, and I don't want to say anything because I shot the first day in pockets. And then the video was there was audio only and it was all black. I don't know what happened. There was no video with it. So that's going to be something I have to reshoot. So I'm going to do another first day in pockets-ish. So there's the first one of the two. And then the other one that came in is the one that, that's that Kubi 344 that Sharif Manganis sent me as a gift. This came in. And so just for any of you guys that are new to the channel, like I know that Alan Greywolf is here and there's a lot of new people to the channel. Like I said, 300 in the last week or two. I want to say last 2 weeks, I got like 300 new subscribers. I get videos, I get knives in, and even if somebody sends it to me as a gift, even if it comes from a company, I give every knife the same treatment. I put it in my pocket. I don't look up any specs. I don't look up any price. I don't give any company, if it's a garbage knife, it's a garbage knife. Recently, I did a bad review of a Shielden. I like to try and give every knife the best possible chance. If that means I've got to resharpen it before I use it, like I did with the Shielden, yeah. But there are some knives that just get bad reviews. Typically, I find items that I don't like with the knife. It pisses a bunch of people off. They complain in the comments, and I move on to the next knife and do the same thing. Because to be honest, I don't give two shits about the comments. I do this for the people like you that are here every 3 days watching videos and leaving comments and stuff like that. Plus, YouTube comment section just has increasingly gotten horrible. So even if something comes to me, like stuff from Artisan or CJRB that I get from Russell over at Artisan, if it comes in from anybody else, if it came in as a gift from the designer, they get the same treatment. I was really honest. There's a video that goes up here in the next couple days that is of a higher end version of a knife that I really, really loved. And I have to be honest, I would not buy the higher end version. I wouldn't cough up the extra dough because I like the original version better. So like I said, he sent this to me. I was skeptical when I first saw it. I saw it and I pulled it out of the box and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. And then I popped it open. I felt the action. And then I, you know, that's the first thing you do. You're like, you snap it open. You're like, I don't know. You're looking at it and then you grab a hold of it. And you're like, oh, okay. I like this. Another great design from Sharif over at Mangana Steel. Nice and thin, unique look to it with the way that the scales come down at that like unique angle and then it comes up, but in hand, it's great. And it looks unique when it's closed. And so this, you can flip it. Look at that action. That's the thing, like snaps open easy. Completely drop shut, thumb stud. It's just a great knife. And it's nice and thin and slicey behind the edge. It is in D2 steel. Seems to be holding up okay. This has been getting a lot of pocket time too. So I have 2 front flippers in that I don't dislike. I absolutely, Patina, absolutely. I do like Sharif's. I'm not going to talk about it. I already told you guys, Medford lived rent-free in my head too long. I'm not even going to talk about it. I've bagged on him so many times. I'm just going to leave it be. But yeah, that PMP big boy is that's where it's at right now. That's what's up. As you can tell, it's been getting used a lot. I did resharpen it. Do have to say that the edge on it it wasn't dull. Don't get me wrong. I cut a lot with it and I was like, wow, it's still cutting, but I don't want to talk about it. I'm not going to get into the whole politics of the CCP and all that shit. Let him have it. Like, I know Super Steel Steve did a message to the veterans and all that. Look, I did my time. I enjoy knives. If I had to only review knives that were ones that Steve and those guys, and don't get me wrong, I respect Steve. I like his opinions on a lot of stuff. I don't disagree 100% on what they're saying. But the fact is, if I was to go and curtail myself to what they want, I would do 1 video a month because I would get 1 good knife in. I would get 1 knife in a month. It's the nature of the beast. I do reviews. I review whatever will come in because I don't buy any of these knives. All the shit you see on this channel, and one of the reasons I can truly be objective a lot of times, I don't buy any of this stuff. Most of this stuff isn't coming from a company rep or anything like that. You know where the 99% of the content you guys see comes from? Jared Neves. I'm getting knives from Neves. I'm getting Neves knives. And I do reviews and I send them back to him because I like knives. I like seeing new knives. And the fact is, if I was to stick to what they want me to stick to be a patriot, well, I did my entire adult life in the military. I worked for the federal government for 6 years after I retired. I think I've earned the right to do whatever the fuck I want. So, you know, let me see. Mike, did you happen to see? Yes, we were just talking about it, and we're not going to talk about it anymore. We're not going to talk about it anymore. We just talked about it. That's all we're going to talk about it at all. So let's not talk about that anymore because it's just going to piss me off. So the Steingraber stuff, I don't know how they're going to play out in video, but I do have to say I like this Sasquatch. It's weird looking. You know what? It reminds me of the first hunting knife my dad got me, and it was called the, what was it? The little finger. It reminds me a lot of an old timer little finger. Yeah, Sasquatch. Sasquatch. This is super comfortable, and the behind the edge on this. Let's see if I can get away with this one and stay monetized. It's cut hair thin, and I don't mean like a dark brown, blackish Mediterranean or Asian. I mean like a nice thin, super thin blonde Scandinavian cunt hair. This thing, like it doesn't like. I was like, where does the edge bevel start? Like it's just not there. You can't even feel it. It is not cut hair, cunt hair. About that big. It's about that big right there. It's about a thumb size. I don't know. I'm sitting in a lawn chair in my garage with a laptop on top of 3 milk crates with a green screen precariously held up because I kicked it the other day and bent the shit out of one of the tripod supports. So I'm surprised it hasn't fallen down yet. I ordered another one. The one in Rex 121 is a wee bit thicker. Yes, it is. But it's also thicker blade stock, I believe. The Shark, you mean? Yeah, it's a slight bit thicker. Look at them spaceship handles. Somebody needs to take a snapshot of that. And then somebody take a snapshot of that, one of the members, put it on Gilded so I can take a picture of it. And I'm going to send that to Steingrabber in the Millennium Falcon. My main viewing used to be yourself, Shabazz, JT, Stasa, Patty, but nowadays just Metal Complex Knees and yourself. Love the viewpoints and style of y'all's videos. Why, thank you. I don't like Patty's potato peelers very much because I kind of agree with the stuff Steve was saying because he was like, I don't like the counterfeit stuff. I'm not big on that. And somebody was saying something to me like, oh, I can't believe you're reviewing QB and these because they've been stealing designs. I was like, I know that there's some companies that stole designs, and some of those companies have redeemed themselves a little bit by coming out with in-house designs and things like that. It kind of seems like that was like the general path for some of the companies. Now that they've pretty much got themselves legitimate. And so, but I don't dig doing videos about, bro, I have 2 designs out. I make custom knives. I'm getting ready to make one right now for Aiden. I've been making custom knives for years. I don't have any of my knives here. My knives are, well, one, I don't own a single one of my customs. I don't have any of my knives here. I let someone borrow. First knife that got a bad review in probably 2 years. First knife that got a bad review in probably 2 years. Like I couldn't really say anything positive about it, was the Shield and Truncheon. And I wanted to love it because it was a very attractive, very striking knife. But it just was like holding on to just a whole handful of broken beer bottles. It was hot spot everywhere and stuff like that. It was horrible. Okay, I thought we weren't going to talk about this anymore, but for your information, more than 75% of every dollar that you spend on a knife from Fair & Forge that was made in China goes to distributors, the boys at Fair & Forge, shipping in the United States. So Tom, we're not talking about it anymore. I don't want to talk about it. It's just going to piss me off. You know. So Cole is having to spend money on Band-Aids. I don't understand it. Ruh-roh. I got an Empalon. I like it a lot. Empo Lion? What's an Empo Lion? I don't know what that is. I just finished my... Here's the thing. Like I said, I want to review knives. I don't want to do politics. I don't want to talk about like the politics of knives. If Steve wants to do it, that's fine. I respect Steve's opinion on it, and that's fine. That's his opinion. I like reviewing knives. I like making 5 videos a week. If I was to limit myself to only reviewing American-made knives, I would get a Medford, I would get a Microtech, and that's about it. I would get a bunch of other, I get some Stein Grabbers, but I would get a bunch of other garbage, poorly manufactured American knives. Bradfords are good, but you just see what I'm saying? Like I would have like literally 1 video a month, and it would be the same knives every month. I'm just gonna start putting people in timeout. I just don't want to talk about it. Like that's what I do. Like they're like, oh, you put me in timeout. Well, the comment section drives the commentary. If I don't have a guest, the comment section is what we talk about. And if I say that's not a topic we're going to talk about, then you get a couple minutes of me just doing this. Other things that we're going to look at. I'm currently running both the computer and my studio lights off of, you guys remember when I unboxed the power bank from Tech House? Do you remember when we did that? I'm actually running the computer's running off of it. The studio lights are running off of it, and I'm charging my phone off of it. I'm not going to turn everything around. Oh, that's why you asked about the Shieldens. I'd be up to look at other Shieldens. So I'd be up to look at the other Shieldens. I just only have seen the one, and I was not impressed. It was a good looking knife, and I wanted it to really do well. And I thought it was going to. I sharpened it. I was like, ooh, it took a nice clean edge. It wouldn't hold its edge. And oh, that's right. Sorry about that. Let me do that right now. I'm going to put it in the chat. Gilded chat. Oh, thanks, Murky. I got the picture. They did not send any solar panels. They didn't send any solar panels. They sent it, and you can connect it to solar panels. But I mean, they didn't even want me to do a video. They just want me to do an objective review. If I liked it, if I didn't, they didn't care. And I was like, do you want a video? And they're like, just put a comment up in Instagram or Amazon, and that's fine. And I was like, I'll do a video on the channel. So I told them I'm really happy with it. Tino took it camping. Tino took it camping, and they ran their phones off of it. They charged a couple other things. They filled up their air mattresses 2 nights in a row. And when he brought it back to me, he's like, bro, it's still fully charged. I was like, what? And then I ran the computer off of it all day yesterday because we did movie day, and I ran it and a couple things off of it, and it really didn't drain down. And so I charged it up last night, and I'm running everything off of it right now. And it's currently saying it's only drawing 12 watts because my computer was fully charged when I turned it on. And I'm not running the fan that goes underneath it. So it's a really good battery bank. So I will do that at the end of the video. Remind me at the end of the video, Dave, and I will put that in the gilded. Holy shit, we're going through space. What is this? I missed a couple things. Waiting on those ARRPM great whites to drop. They're great. The great white is fun. It's the great white's a really good knife. I carry that a lot as well. I dug my, oh, you guys get a sneak peek. You get a sneak peek of a video. So you guys remember I have the copper and brass Grazioso. Or I'm sorry, I have the copper and G10 Grazioso. This is the carbon fiber 20 CV titanium bolster lock version that you guys are going to get to see this week. I have the videos. I got a week's worth of videos ready. So there's a week's worth of videos up already because I knew I was going to wind up getting called for jury duty because when I get a summons, I always wind up getting called. So I got called in for federal jury duty this morning and they sent me home at like noon. So I literally am going to be able to keep filming and stay ahead. That's been my plan. I wanted to stay like at least a week ahead, which is where I'm at right now. So I'm a full week ahead, mainly because like I said, the wife's going to have surgery here before too long. So yeah, I got a bunch of cool stuff in. I got stuff from Beardo. I got stuff from Murky. I got stuff from Custom EDC. And then I got this from Sharif Manganis. How often would you all get? I've been called. This is my 4th time getting called. I've gotten called like 3 or 4 times. I called once when I got called once when the wife was pregnant. I got called when the kid was little. 3 times. I've gotten called 3 times in maybe the last 14 years. And I don't have a problem with doing jury duty. A lot of people trying to get out of it, but I'm honest. Like they asked me questions about like, if this and that. And I was like, you know, having worked, you know, counterterrorism, counter surveillance, anti-terrorism, and having to look at stuff with like, you know, threat activity at borders and stuff. And, you know, am I friends with a lot of cops? Yeah, I got a lot of friends that are cops. My dad was a cop. Like how do you have family that are law enforcement? I was like, yeah, a ton. I did law enforcement for a few years in the military. And then I worked as part of the law enforcement department, the security department on the base. I did counterterrorism, counter surveillance, stuff like that. And I'm like, you know, that's the community I was in at the time. And they were like, yeah, you know, sorry. And I was like, why don't you call me in for a civil case? I'm fine with a civil case where I don't have to worry about like legalities and stuff like that. I had no problem with it. No problem with jury duty. I just don't. So the whole thing is, so I was on the Gilded server and I was talking. Polly's part of the Gilded server because everyone wanted Polly, even though he's not a paying member. Polly's just there for entertainment. And so Paul was in there and I was like, fuck, I got jury duty. He goes, oh, you're going to have to get up dressed up and do, you know, be an adult and this. And I was like, I got no problem with that. I get up early as shit anyway. My problem is I don't want to have to drive downtown San Diego early as shit. So I was downtown San Diego at 6:30 this morning because I knew that's how early I had to get there to find a parking space within like 3 miles of the courthouse. You heard a rumor I was from Ohio. Well, who would start an ugly rumor like I am? I am from Coshocton. Actually, I'm from Ohio. Coshocton is like the biggest area. You're going to recognize the name of. So it was, I'm from a small town east of that. Walking into the courtroom and seeing a 6'4" boomer just waiting for Hank to drop off some propane. I'm not gonna lie, I was like the biggest person as I walked into the jury box and everybody's like, they're like, we're switching your numbers. I was like, why? And they're like, we don't want you to have to walk all the way down to the end and back. We're going to put you down here. So, and they just like literally, the court bailiff was like, Judge, I want to move this one to the end. And she's like, why? And then she's like, just look at him. 6'3", 230 pounds. She's like, He's not going to sit out. I'm not calling Polly. I don't need that right now. Polly will know that I'm in a bad mood. It's not Coxtown. It's Crowtown. That's what we call it, Coshocton. Crowtown. Matter of fact, I'm not going to lie. Coshocton has got an incredibly good, for a shitty, small southeastern Ohio town. They have a really good pizza place called Crowtown Pizza. Coxtown. That's not nice. It's a very bad thing to say about someone's hometown. I don't even bother booking seats on a plane. It doesn't matter where they put me. I'm going to be uncomfortable for 12, 13 hours flying to Japan. I'm like, well, you could pay for the seat that has a little bit more leg room. And I was like, I'm still going to be uncomfortable. I may as well be a little bit more uncomfortable for a little less money. I'll be a little more uncomfortable for cheaper. Guys, still best production knife I own. I subbed as well. Lacey, I still have to sub to yours. I still have to sub to yours. There, Diva. Sorry, I'm checking to see here. Checking on my mom. She had that fall here a couple weeks ago, and apparently she fell again. Adams County is only a banjo off from deliverance. I live in Adams Township. Adams Township is less than 300 people. Actually, I live in White Eyes Township, right on the line, Adams and White Eyes, where they touch. It's looking forward to seeing that 3D gasser going nuts. No, Mike can't play the banjo. Mike, I never learned to play a musical instrument. Never. Polly, I heard, I hope he's in here. I heard that Polly, however, got really good at the skin flute. She's got a, so here's the deal. Like I talked about it. So my mother has had a lot of back and neck surgery. And so she has a lot of problems where if she like turns, because she's got so much, she has so much titanium supports and reinforcement in her neck and stuff that when she turns the right way, it actually will put pressure on the carotid, on the artery, and she can lose consciousness. She just passes out. So she fell and hit her head. The other problem she got going on, my mother has to have a hip replacement. And so she's not very stable. So she falls a lot, and I'm concerned about her. I tried to call earlier. I want to find out what they're doing about having her surgery scheduled and stuff. So Ohio is the only place where you would go that Miami, spelled exactly like it is in Florida, is actually mommy. So it's not, you got the big and little everywhere else in the country, Miami River. But if you're in Ohio, it's the big and little mommy river. Don't know why. Don't ask me why. No clue. I can play the spoons. Beardo, are you saying you want to spoon with me? Right off the bat, I'm Big Spoon. I'm Big Spoon. I don't care what Beardo says. Don't you believe it? I don't know about going nuts, guys, but I can fly basic acrobatics fairly well. I've been learning how to spin. Yeah, on a drone. God, this thing is so sharp. So thin and slicey. Like if you went like this and it cast a shadow on the table, the leg would fall off. That's how sharp it is. I don't know what a Bowron is. Guys, if you didn't see it, I know there's 38 of you here, so I imagine all 38 of you are part of the only 145 people that watched the video I put up today. I put a video up today. It's pretty good. I like being the little spoon, but Pocket Viking is too small. Mike, can you play the tromboner? I'm not even going to talk to you anymore, Murky. You're not getting your knives back. Just because actually get your knives back. They're going to be dull. Full send a quad. How's daughter skating doing? I was just getting ready to mention that. You read my mind. So daughter went ice skating today. She, yeah, the more like fucking. I should have known. I should have known that. Now I know what you're talking about. At any rate, so the daughter went skating this morning. She did choreography. Her outfits are here. Her costume outfits or her costumes, dresses that she's going to wear for her short and long programs are here, and she's doing okay. She had that fall here a while back. She bruised her tailbone really bad. So we were just getting to where she was overcoming. She has what's called Osgood-Schlatters syndrome. It's growing pains. So her bones were growing so fast, it was stretching the ligaments and tendons in her knees, and she was having a lot of pain. Just growing pain. Same thing. I grew up with it. I had it. I grew so fast that everything hurt, my elbows and my knees, you know. So she was just starting to recover from that. She had hip and back problems this season before, skated through it, went over to the Netherlands and skated, even though she was skating on an injury, did really well. But basically last season, she didn't skate at all. She didn't skate at all for the entire season. So now here we are to a point where she's actually recovering and her knees feel better. She's feeling a lot more healthy. And she fell and she hit her head, and she was real concerned about her head. But after she got over the, like, do I have a concussion thing, she realized her tailbone hurt so bad that she could barely sit. And so we were afraid she might have gotten a cracked tailbone. She went in, we got a lot of stuff checked, and she basically what happened was she kind of got scared of falling again, because the doctor told her, like, well, I don't want you to skate. If you fall, this and that, if you fall again, you could, it's always worse the second time, and then you'll be out for months. And so she was kind of scared of falling. And I told her, I was like, look, here's the thing. You're going to fall. You can't be scared of falling. If you fall and you get hurt, you fall and get hurt. I don't want you to be scared of doing it. And that's what it was. She was holding back because the doctor kind of scared her. And I was like, look, I know the doctor's looking out for you, but you know the difference. Like, if you're hurt or if you're injured, you're an athlete, you know the difference. Are you hurt or are you injured? Like, there's times that you've got to just kind of, you just kind of got to, like, fight your way through some stuff. Now, if you're injured, do I want you going out and compounding an injury? No. But if you're just sore or stuff like that. So she's back to jumping. She bought new padded pants. We've dropped. Those of you that donated to GoFundMe, thank you very much. I was not expecting all of this at once. She outgrew her skates just like all of a sudden. She's like, Dad, my skates don't fit anymore. My boots don't fit. And if you guys know, her skate boots are about $600 just for the boots. And it's a little bit more than that just for the blades. Costumes, $200 to $400 each. Things like that. And people are like, oh, you just get a real job. Well, I can't work right now because of the COVID restrictions and the fact that I've got an autoimmune disorder and I'm retired military, and I fall under a weird category of people that just can't work right now until they lower some of the restrictions. So the thing is, we always do this GoFundMe to take up for stuff that's unforeseen, that just pops up out of nowhere. Like, all of a sudden, mid-season, she needs new blades or skates, or she cracks a skate and the blade, and we have to replace a set. So it's just one of those things. So if you guys did donate to the GoFundMe, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm going to keep it up, even though we've almost reached I didn't want to be greedy. I mean, could I have done with more than 2,000? Yes, I would have taken more than 2,000. So I'm just going to leave it up, and anybody that decides that they want to donate, that's fine. But anybody that did, I appreciate it. Well, chuck it. I know, knives, but here's the thing. Videos like this, comments drive the content. I am going to get something that you guys will get a kick out of that you might like. I mentioned I did a quick, where did I put it? Trying to find it. I did a quick video short on YouTube. Now I can't find the stuff. I have KPL's new product that he calls Blade Shield, and it's a lot like, God damn, how the hell did I lose an entire bottle? At any rate, here it is. I found it. I've been busy. I've been getting into stuff and doing stuff. So Chuck, if you want to chip in on it, it's in the description of most of my videos. The description doesn't pop up here, but if you go find one of my videos, there's a GoFundMe down there. This is the KPL knife shield that Ryan, every time I was going to find this. This is that KPL knife shield that Ryan developed. It's a lot like the other spray-on wipe-off. And I know I don't want, God, how do I do this? So Jim Skelton is a friend of mine. And I love Jim. I love talking with Jim. Jim bought EDCI. I think he bought the company. So if you're going to buy EDCI, you're buying it from Jim. But this isn't like EDCI. This is a lot different. EDCI is not quite as aggressive on certain stuff with this. This is really good for tape residue. Now, I had a lot of tape residue that I had really like layers and layers of tape. This stuff really seemed to take off a light little bit of tape. If you have a lot of tape residue, I still recommend WD-40 or rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol seems to work really good on tape residue. But as far as like clean up, wipe off on a blade, this stuff is great. It doesn't have any fragrance in it. It may when it comes to market. This is not available. But it's just a shake up, milky white stuff. Doesn't smell too bad. I will tell you, don't do it on your tile floor because it feels sticky for a while and your wife will yell at you. But it seems to do a really good job of cleaning off, polishing a knife. I've been using it on, where's it at? My Kubi, because I'm really wanting to see how much it can prevent rust. If there's anyone that can make D2 rust horribly, I'm that guy. So D2, oh, there you go, Chuck. Aiden posted up a link to the GoFundMe. Thank you, Aiden. That's awesome. It's not quite EDCI. Like I said, it's a little bit different. I've used the EDCI. I've used EDCI. I don't dislike it. EDCI is pretty good. It seems to be okay. I like this a little bit better. If I ran out of this and I wanted EDCI, get some EDCI, yeah, I probably would. But typically what I use, this is like, I had a small bottle of EDCI. I used all of it. I typically don't use this stuff. What I usually just use is rubbing alcohol, a spray bottle rubbing alcohol, and I'll wipe it down with either KPL original and give it a light coat of that, and then just wipe off the excess with paper towel, or WD-40 on a rag just as water displacement. Those work great. If you just want a one spray kind of a deal, I don't know what the price point is going to be on this, but I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. It's one of the better ones that's out there. But like I said, typically I just use rubbing alcohol to wipe the blade off and then put a little bit of oil of some sorts on, wipe it around, then wipe off the excess with a paper towel. But it seems to be doing a pretty good job keeping me from rusting this D2 blade on this Kubi 344. So what's everybody got in pocket today? I always forget to do that. What's everyone carrying? We already discussed the fact I'm carrying the PMP big boy. PMP knives, I have not looked it up, but I believe they're a European company. I believe that they're, if I glanced at it correctly, because I was trying not to find price and stuff like that, I think that this might be a Swedish company. So I don't know exactly anything about it. I'm going to please don't drop any price points or anything. Don't drop any spoilers. I'm still doing a blind review on this, but I do believe that this is a Swedish company. PMP Knives is a Swedish company. I'm not sure. Jared's Thai sheepdog, actually. So let's see. Chucket's Thai sheepdog. His Patina's got Protect Mordax with BGM regrind. Smooth Thai. Smooth Thai and 20 CV VC Edge interface. Chuck's got Jared's tie. I'm carrying a sea snake, but I feel like I need a custom. Well, that will be a long time in the making because I don't have any steel for it. I still haven't ground your. Okay, so I got this far today. Aiden, after I got back from jury duty, I got this far. This is all the further I got. I pulled out the blank and got it ready, got my magnet out. And by the time I realized what time it was and I had all it ready and I was going to start to grind your Kiradashi, I realized it's time to go pick my kid up from school and the sun was going down. An 80-20 with a BGM regrind hollow. Oh, I bet that's sick. What steel is yours in, Jake? Because I'm not gonna lie, I had my buddies in and it was in the AUS 10 and I had a real hard time with it wanting to form a nasty wire burr that just kept breaking off and not actually want to take a clean edge. It took a lot. I think the edge had been burnt real bad on it. And I think I finally got past the burnt. We're in a testing phase. He's carrying it. We're going to see how that edge holds up. He's going to bring it back to me. Sick patina. That's actually heat treat. That's the remnants of the heat treat scale. Now, I will say Aiden, you're going to get it. There are going to be some shiny spots on this because these edges are still real sharp. I do have to Scotch-Brite that, and I have to Scotch-Brite this in, but I will leave as much of that on, and we can address it later. If you don't like the way it looks, I can do a full satin on it with, I'll do a Scotch-Brite satin. So, but yeah, I have to clean all this up real good. It is very, very aggressively sharp on the edges. And I typically don't leave the mill scale or the heat treat scale on, so I never did cleaning of those edges and stuff. So it is pretty cool. I like the heat treat color you get. You guys can't see it real good. You get some brown, you get some blue. There's some orange in there, and it's really unique. No two blades are ever the same if you use that heat treat milling. The Tonto Zon. 3 weeks with the new SOCOM Bravo. Is it? You may have to send that one to me. I've been trying to get Jim Skelton to send me his. The Wee Arrakis Cold Steel Mini Tough Light Swiss Army Cyber Tool 34. Nice. I was going to say the same to you, Duke. I don't know. Oh. Button Lock Elementum. I did not like the Button Lock Elementum because I don't like just the push button floppiness. I like the option of being able to flip it or like an axis lock where I can thumb roll it. But if you were to take everything else into account, except the fact that the button makes it like just you have to push it. There's no like slow roll or nick, or like you can't bypass just the button for deployment. If you can get past that, which I really couldn't, everything else about that knife is perfect. That is almost a perfect knife except for that one little thing. PM2 with Flytanium Stonewash Scales, Lynch Clip, Civivi Cogent, and a Concept Predatout in micarta. Oasis Borgia. Yojimba 2 20 CV blade, Tan G10 MXG long clip. The Yojimba's a good knife. It's just I think that the tip is a little fragile on it. Sinister is winking at me. Aiden is giving me the okay sign. Based in Switzerland, but they have a dedication to the knife as a quality item using the best materials. PMP is an impressive fixed blade. At any rate, yeah, okay, so they're Switzerland then, not Sweden. Sorry, thank you. I had a chip tips with Jared trading me a sheepdog instead of repairing it for me. Neves rules. Nice. Let's see here. Micarta Fox, baby core, and blacked out carbon fiber sheepdog. I'm going to open the garage door, get some air going in here. It's not hot. It's just close, stuffy. I'm going to customize your sea snake. Just remember, I don't fix things that you customize. Oh my God, the AUS 10 on the 20.5 is so bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I won't even, I will take that sharpening work. So if you get somebody that says it, send them my way. I will take sharpening on them. I want to do a fat carbon scale on either. Don't do an acid wash. It's so bad for the steel. I carried the QSP Penguin that I swapped the hardware on to customize. I have a QSP Penguin on my bench right now for a video. It's my personal one. I'm going to do a video. I'm gonna stick it in. Probably stick it in. Get ready. Sorry. I'm gonna stick the video up in and probably sometime this week. I'm gonna move shuffle stuff to the right, but I'm gonna do 5 office-friendly carries. I'm gonna stop you guys, and because it's not because Lacey's here and Stacy's here, and I'm going to start using the term gentleman carry. Because you know what? That's not as inclusive. I have a 14% female audience. And just because this has been what's traditionally called a gentleman's folder, that doesn't mean it is anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, women carry knives. I don't think, even though I'm not like the woke agendaist, I just think it's kind of unfair to the females in the knife community for us to keep calling these smaller office-friendly knives gentleman's folders. I may say it from time to time because that's traditionally what they're called. But what I'm going to say is office friendly, because that's typically what a gentleman's carry was something that's office friendly. Like, HR is not going to give you a call about it. So I have 5 knives, actually 6 picked out for a video. We're going to talk about office friendly carry. It's OS 10, Mike. My shark foot took me 3 or 4 sharpenings to get past the burnt edge. Okay, so I guess it is. Yeah, Hemo. Let's get caught up. Donation made, chip in for Mike's daughter, you cheapskates. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Chuck it. I remember the variations you had on them. Been very happy with OS 10 second production run. I do know. Oh, that's right. I did that Fire and Brimstone one. Yeah, I remember that. I put 6 edges on it. Still was super soft. Mostly a flop. I think they weren't doing enough coolant, or they were running their belts too fast. Some steels, when you're sharpening on a grinder, if you get your speed too high, or if your belt is worn, or if you're not using enough coolant, like if you're using flood coolant, if you're not using a proper amount of mist or whatever, or if you're not quenching it properly, you're going to burn your edge. And that's why when I'm sharpening a knife on a grinder, always fresh belt. I don't care if I've only done one thing with that belt, always a fresh belt, because I don't want to burn the edge. Because the less abrasive you have on that belt, the more friction you have from the belt itself, you're going to burn your edge, especially if you don't have a good speed controller. Let's see. Leatherman Todd says he's got the Leatherman Surge, Gerber Dime, Gerber Shark. I'm not going to read all that. You got a lot of stuff in your pocket, Todd. I think I've seen pictures of it. I was looking for pictures of the big boy and a little bit of information, just a question. And I think I saw the Grizzly. It's a good looking knife. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's too much. Cutting edge. What is this? I will message 2 that I turned down and sent them your way. It was about a week ago. Cool. Yeah, I just sent them my way. What's your experience with S45 VN? I like it. I have it in my Bark River Knives North Country EDC 2. It's a good steel. It seems to hold up pretty well. It seems to be pretty corrosion resistant. And it seems to be pretty forgiving. I've done some pretty nasty, gnarly stuff to that incredibly nice knife, beat on stuff, chopped stuff, and it seems to hold up pretty well. I'm not going to complain. It's a good all-around steel, probably pretty good for outdoor use. Let's see here. Can I call it a classy carry? I don't know. I'm actually trying to get caught up. I'm way behind, guys. I'm way behind, so I apologize. We're going to get down here to We don't need PC principle in the EDC community. It's not even being PC. It's just the fact that, like I said, on any given video these days, I got Delilah Rose, I got Lacey, I've got a Knife Wife something. I'll have on any given video, on any given live feed, I might have 5 of my female subscribers, and a couple of them are paying members. So, you know, it doesn't seem fair. And I don't agree with it because, like, the fact is, like I said, these days, there's a lot of females in an office setting that carry a knife. It's not a gentleman's thing. That's an outdated thing. It's not being woke. It's just the fact that it's different. You know what I'm saying? There are girls in the hobby nowadays. I mean, really look at it. Guys, I don't know what I did to my wrist. It really hurts. PM2 is an S45 VN. I carry it every day. I dig the S45 VN. There's a handful of steels that I think get overlooked. RWL34, you've heard me talk about it a bunch of times. This is a great steel. 14C28N, another great steel that kind of get overlooked. People will talk about this like, how can I charge so much for a knife that's only in RWL34? I was like, I love RWL34. It's a great knife. Hey, Mike, great channel. I love it here. Amazing people, and you look great. You know why Polly's doing that? I'll tell you exactly why Polly's doing that. I don't know what happened. So if any of you guys have reported Polly, I'd appreciate if you didn't. Polly has never done it. If I'm not going to report Polly, there's no sense in you guys reporting Polly. But apparently something has happened. Polly will say stuff that's nowhere near as bad as what other people say, and it makes it through. And Polly's comments, his goofy little stuff, winds up in my held for review as inappropriate or possibly, what do you would call it? Possibly inappropriate content. So Polly put something up, and he said, your intro's ugly, just like you. And it was in the held for review. But literally in my comments, I had someone literally call me a piece of shit in the comments that had made it through. And I'm like, how the fuck does that happen? So I told him, I was like, Polly, I don't know what happened. I mean, stuff like that, I could see why. I tried to put my pronouns on Instagram as I, me, and it wouldn't let me do it. So yeah, Polly's here. Polly was on the, so if you guys want to know some of the things the paying members get to do, we do, occasionally we do a movie stream. I use StreamYard to do it. I basically build a lobby. I'll drop a link in the Gilded server chat, and we go in and we watch movies off of Amazon, and we put up our cameras and we chat and stuff. Holy crap. Polly for president. Polly, I don't care what you say. You're not getting any of that money. Hang on. Polly loves the bell. I got to get the bell for Polly. Kevin Kirk dropping them 20 bones. Thank you very much, Kevin. I mean, I'm not giving any of it to Polly, but Polly for president. I don't think Polly would ever be able to run for president. I've heard the things he says. And if I've heard the things he said, other people have heard the things he said, which means that eventually, through some sort of investigation, the rest of the world is going to hear all the shit that Polly said. And by default, they're going to hear the shit that I responded back to Polly, and neither one of us could do politics. Too many skeletons in the closet. I'm not coming on here anymore so you can be rich and I'm living in the trap house. Go follow Polly's videos. I don't know what's going on. He hasn't been getting a lot of views. I'm going to start linking some of his videos. Polly, do me a favor, Polly. Pick out 3 of your videos and email the links to me, and then I will drop them in the description of my videos. Polly doesn't get any of it. Here's your suit. You should go to Polly's channel and drop a super chat on his shit. We should definitely stop talking about this topic. People don't like discussing this unless they're actually a part of the movement. No, it's just one of those things that I was like, you know what? Because I looked at my demographics. of my channel subscribership. And I was like, I've got like 14% female subscribers at this point. I'm like, you know what? That tells me there's a lot more females in the hobby. And there's a lot more female makers now, you know, and things like that. Kayla Cummings is doing some awesome shit. And I'm like, so let's just do it that way. Facts. So, hell, there isn't 19 of it. YouTube takes 30%. Yeah, they actually take a good chunk of that. I won't see $20. I will see $5 if I'm lucky. It'll tell me how much my channel made, but they're like, oh, this is how much your channel made, but this is how much you're actually going to get. Then you got to pay tax on that. So you're really not getting any of it. You have 3 of your friends watching me. Hopefully they're not disappointed. I hope they're not disappointed. Don't set your friends up like, oh, you're going to love this channel. Like, this guy's an idiot. Which is what, there you go. Not your average EDC. She's got a really good channel. She had to change it so she could set up an actual channel. So Polly Lacey is starting an actual channel. So she has a channel name now. And I agree with her that changing the name of her channel is a good idea. Because you don't want your channel name to sound like a venereal disease. See? This is why Polly and our friends. God, told him in a text earlier. It's like, you are the worst fucking person in the world. And I dig it. I love it. Like, I'm so glad that I found you as a friend because I need that in my life. Everybody needs that one friend that will just say shit to them that they need to hear. Like, bro, you're being a fucking idiot. Like, Polly wouldn't pull any punches if he thought I was being an idiot. I mean, even if he doesn't think I'm an idiot, he tells me I'm an idiot. He tells me I'm an idiot whether I am or not. There's tons, and I'm glad they're here, but they don't try to change Gentleman's folder to something more PC. I'm not. It's an office-friendly folder. That's not changing it. You can still call it a Gentleman's folder if you want. I just thought it makes more sense because, what was this? Mike, you're making me blush. Oh, Polly, thanks. I'm the friend that people have to warn. Yeah. Here's the thing about Mike. This is what people that know me are going to, this is how they introduce me. They're like, okay, you're going to get to know Mike. You're going to meet Mike. It's the first time you ever met Mike. Here's the thing about Mike. When you first meet him, you're like, man, this guy acts like an asshole. And then you get to know him a little bit. You realize he's not fucking acting. Yeah, exactly. I'm that friend that you're like, look, I'm bringing Mike over. Warn your wife. Just warn your wife. He's going to say something that's going to he's going to drop an F-bomb with the kids in the room. He's going to say something inappropriate around your mother. Please, once you get to know him, Mike's the shiny starfish. So, yeah, we got a lot of content coming up. I'm going to try and do some different stuff. So Jared and I have talked about it. We both have noticed that there are some videos that definitely perform better than others. Udders would probably perform really well. They probably would. But there's some videos that perform better than others. And I'm going to try and kind of just follow in his footsteps what he did. It's worked really well so far. I mean, we're at almost 7,000 subscribers. So that means that we've hit 300 subscribers in like a week. So, I mean, I may see some tapering off and stuff like that, but the view count is what has really changed, which has more than doubled, I think. So what I'm going to do is there's some videos that we know that perform well. It's going to be videos with multiple knives in them, unboxing videos, compilation videos, different knives, and try and give each knife like 2 minutes. I still am going to do the full long form reviews of knives, but I believe that it's going to be better to mix in some of that content because there's a lot of new people to the knife hobby, and seeing several knives in a video, I think, will keep their attention better. I've got nipples. Can you milk me? I love that movie. Yes, Polly is on TikTok, but Polly also basically his TikTok duplicates his YouTube stuff. Polly, I don't know if you saw it. I sent you a link to a video today. Not because like I was just trying to compare it to stuff you do. He's here, Shane. Polly's right here. It was because I want to see your take on that. It was the grilled cheese jalapeno popper, the jalapeno popper grilled cheese. It looked really good. Like I saw the video while I was in the jury room and I sent it to you. And I was like, yeah, I want to see your take on it. I want to see how you do it. Yeah, yes. Well, see, here's the thing. So what it's going to be, Kyle, is it's going to be long form content, but it's going to be multiple knives in the video. I think I texted you a link. If I didn't text it to you, I sent it to you on Instagram because that's where I found it. So it's an Instagram link that I sent you. It's really good. It's a movie. So, what's this? Lacey doesn't have parents. That's not nice. A tamed Polly is like having a starved lion in a tree. A starving lion sitting in a tree. Polly's pretty much off leash and he knows that he's got to keep in within some standards in the gilded server. But I mean, he's been pretty good. And Polly's a professional kind of guy. Polly, well, you got a master's or 2 master's degrees. Like he knows how to act like an adult occasionally. So I know I'm just missing. I don't know what I missed here. What's this? Yeah, that's what I meant. That's why shorts are so popular because people won't sit to watch. So what I've been doing is I've been doing shorts to drive people to the channel about topics that I'm going to talk about in videos that are closely related later. So it seems to be working. An MBA. I thought you had a master's. Polly's a businessman. Polly is a businessman. Polly actually is pretty professional at what he does. He's, as shocking as it may be, Polly is actually really good at his job. See, I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. See, there you go. See, that's why Polly's my friend. That's an MBA, you fucking idiot. I don't fucking know. To tell you the truth, don't care. So no, having Polly around is always interesting. But like I said, really good at his job, apparently, because people try to hire him and shit like that. He owns multiple 7-Elevens. No, he doesn't. So okay. You guys want to hear? I will give you my take because now I'm calmed down a little bit. I'll give you my take on what Super Steel Steve and Greg Medford said. Greg, are you going to continue to use Chinese titanium? Because most of the titanium comes out of Russia, China. You're going to continue to use your cell phone and your computer because the batteries and all the rare earth elements that are in that came from China and it was built in China. So that's my whole thing. Like, I don't know why that seems to be the running thing. And I can tell you why. It's because Greg's in the knife industry. I guarantee he'd be throwing a fit if he was in the phone industry. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole take on it. So the same people that are going to complain about that stuff are the same people that are going to film their videos on an iPhone that was built by Foxconn in China. So there's my take on it. I respect her opinion. I like Super Steel Steve. I had some, so Super Steel Steve and I blocked him for a while. I had some undiagnosed PTSD issues. I was not very good at taking criticism at the time. And he gave me some honest criticism in a video and I blocked him because I was being a dick at the time. So I completely understand where he's coming from. I don't necessarily disagree. I'm just saying, like I said before, if I was to limit the channel to only buying American knives, there are only a couple companies that I even like that make American knives. There's only a couple. There's Hogue, there's Microtech, any of the OEM that Medford has done. I don't like Greg's knives. They're incredibly well built. I just don't like his knives. I don't like the designs. So anything he's made for anyone else, those are basically it. I don't like Benchmade because I personally think most of what Benchmade makes these days is trash. I don't like Spyderco because same thing. They're banking on their name and things like that. So if I was to limit myself to that, I would have like 4, maybe 5 companies to pick from. So I would do 1 video a month and you would see the same knives every 3rd or 4th month. And that's all you would get. I like making videos about knives. I like knives. I don't care where they came from. Just like I don't care where my phone was made and a lot of this other stuff. So, Aiden, are you taking off? Oh, I thought they said Aiden. Later, Alan. Benchmade, no. I mean, there's some Benchmade makes some good knives. Don't get me wrong. I like some of their knives. If they're done right, you can get. The best thing to do is go to a knife show where Benchmade is and pick out the exact one you want. Say, hey, let me see like 4 of them and like compare grinds, lockups, things like that. So got him. So yeah. Shane, are you taking off too? Discord, fine. I've had to fix your Spyderco twice. I don't even know who I'm talking to right at the moment. What is this? I'm going to cuddle with my Grant gripper. I got to get one of those in. I got to get that thing in. I haven't got to see one yet. I want to see one. I should just go up. Winter Park is just up the road, but the fact is, the price of diesel out here is nuts. It's $6.90 on my way home today from the court. I could easily drive up to see Jason up in Buena Point. It's literally like an hour and a half, 2 hours from here. Problem is, it's going to cost me $100 to go round trip. It's cheaper for me to fly from San Diego to Los Angeles. So, do the chopsticks fly trick? No. Let's see here. What is this? Who's going on? What? Who are we talking to? Okay. Who or what are we talking to? I don't know what's going on. Neves hasn't sent it back yet. Oh, okay. last time I actually did Chewbacca when I Wookieed was when I got tased. They're like, bro, you went stiff as a board. Right? You can't hurt Polly's feelings. He's buried him under beer and cake. It's called jet fuels keep. Also doesn't. Okay. You want to talk about that? I can tell you something. It doesn't melt. Okay. It doesn't melt. But the fact is. Oh. Yeah. He just reposted something. The fact is, just like any heat treat, steel doesn't have to melt to lose its structural capability. So something that at 150 degrees Fahrenheit is rigid and solid and stiff, at 800 degrees has now started to become more plastic and end will bend, and it doesn't have to melt. You just have to get it to a point where it loses some of its structural elements. Making knives, I can tell you, it's really easy to heat something up to not melting point, but then have it become plastic and then not, like if you pull a knife out at 2200 degrees, or if you put it in the heat treat oven at 2200 degrees improperly, your blade has now changed shape because it was leaning up against something and now you've got a warp in it because you have reached a critical temperature, not melting point, but a critical temperature where that steel has now become plastic. It doesn't have to melt. I know. I just like, that's one of the ones that irritates me. Which heat can't do that much to metal. I'm like, really? Definitely changes it. I can take steel that's at 55 Rockwell and turn it into 67 Rockwell just by heat. You change shape. You change shape. Tell him that my dad better keep that chastity cage on his little pecker or there'll be hell to pay. Bro, you didn't see this one, Dave. 14C28N, super thin behind the edge, so thin that the knife disappears. Nice, so good a knife. I wish Winston was here. Winston's going to stop by to pick his stuff up, so I'm finally going to get to meet Winston. I should do, like, I basically have enough shit that I could do a Winston, I could do the Cabretti collection. He's giving me 3 knives and a bunch of other stuff. So... yeah, like the way blacksmiths move material. Exactly. And that's well below. You can still move material well below melting point. Guys, it's been an hour and 36 minutes. What knife is this? Is the PMP Knives Big Boy in 14C28N. Like I said, the only thing I found wrong with it is I despise that pocket clip because look at how much it walks. You can actually get it. Wait, watch this. I want to cut myself. You can actually get it to drop into the lock bar cutout. What is this? Oh, whatever the knife is, tempered as at so long that you keep your heat below that you won't break the temper. I don't know what we're talking about. Mike, will you pretty please make another Ohio boy a fixie? I mean, here's the problem. I don't have any steel. I have 1 blank left, and that's going to me and Dave's friend Sam hiking with a Viking, or not hiking with a Viking, bushcraft bodybuilder. I just haven't gotten, I still have some hardware I have to get. So I'm not making very many knives. I really am not. I just don't, like this one, it just moves so much. Like, look at that. It's got like an inch of play. So, well, here's the problem. I don't have any heat. I don't have any way to heat treat. I don't have access to a shop. I have a grinder. So basically, I don't have the equipment to cut out a blank. I don't have anything here but a grinder. So the only thing I can work on is finished stuff that's already been heat treated and cut to size, which means that I have 2 knives right now I can make. That's it. So until I can figure out a way to get Elliot Williamson to get back with me about getting in the shop some weekend, I can't even make a blank to heat treat. So it's just where I'm at right now. Shit happens. Life happens. They had to move out of their shop. They're working out of his brother's garage. I can't fault them if they don't want me. The shop is half the size of what it was, and you're going to have me in there as well. They can't work if I'm taking up the majority of the shop. And it's not like I can have access to the shop like I did before. I had a key to the shop and I could go in there. There were nights I just couldn't sleep and I would go to the shop at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and just work. I can't do that in his brother's garage. So you know what I mean? So, I mean, I have some options. I could probably do heat treat with Jake up at Jacob Creates. But the fact is, he's got his own knives to make and stuff like that. And if I'm doing something that is not the heat treat, I don't know. Depends on the steel, depends on the thickness, depends on like, I would have to send designs. I don't have designs. I draw each knife out on a piece of steel. I mean, I still have to make the blank. And I guarantee that like, if I send him a drawing, he could make it for him. But the fact is, I'm not going to have another maker make my blank. You see what I'm saying? And he's busy already. So it's not an option. I can't have another maker do it for me because one, that detracts from me as a maker. That just makes it look like I don't know a step of the process. Two, I enjoy those steps of the process. And if I can't do them, I'm just not going to do any of it. And three, Transparent Knives has his own business to run and his books are full. Like he's already busy. So it is what it is. I was a hobby knife maker anyway. Well, I appreciate it. But the thing is, I wasn't ever a knife maker. I made some knives. I was pretty good at it, actually. But that wasn't what I'm passionate about. I love to sharpen knives. If I could stand out here and sharpen knives all day, every day, I fucking would. The only reason I have enough time to do the videos is I get emails from you guys daily. I want to send some knives, this and that. I'm like, okay, just give me a call. I have a separate phone for the sharpening service that never rings. So you guys really want something? You want to make me happy? Send me your knives to sharpen. If you're a paying member, you get $5 off per sharpening. Yeah, you can't do it. I did once and I wasn't happy with it. And everybody that ordered shit dropped out. Like I did a bunch of stuff, but like, I was like, okay, this just isn't working. So then the only reason I was able to afford to do it is I had one of you guys that is one of the subscribers that missed out on the GoFundMe to send me home to see my father before he got sick. He basically bought the steel that I had. Like the only reason I had the steel to make those knives, the big run of knives I was doing, somebody bought it as a gift since they missed the GoFundMe. They were like, I just want to do that. So, but yeah, like I said, if you guys want to make me happy, send me stuff to sharpen. I love to sharpen. I'll stay out here, put on a movie. I'll do live feeds, sharpening live feeds. There may be one tomorrow. I have a lot of sharpening to do. I got to film a video, but I have a lot of sharpening to do right now. I've got like 3 customers worth of stuff in. So see, I wouldn't do that. And if I was a maker, I wouldn't even like, I'll pay you double. I'm like, no. I don't need stones right now. I got plenty of stones. Aiden gave me a 12,000 grit stone. I got to open this garage door. It's stuffy out here. It's not hot. It's just stuffy. Won't open it all the way, but we'll open it part way. I'll be. It's a sprinkling out there. How much is my sharpening service? $25 a knife to any grit you want, up to 12,000, with the exception of certain knife shapes. Tontos are 35. Recurves are 35. Norsemen, because of the way they're done, are 40. So, oh, Lacey, not anymore. For you, it's 20 because you're a paying member. Paying members get $5 off every knife. So hope I didn't sound like I was being pushy. Just wanted to experience your ability from past work. If you really want something that is very, very representative of my custom work, the Sea Snake is you can ask Dave, you can ask Hiking with a Viking. It is a 1-for-1 exact duplicate of the custom that I made. Exactly the same. Weight distribution's the same. Handle material is a little bit different. The hardware's a little bit different, But if you want something that is like a 1-for-1 representation with better jimping, I'm shit at jimping. It's the best way to see what it's like. I mean, actually, I do have a sea snake here. Hang on. I forgot. I have the production prototype. That's right. I have to do a video about this Ulti-Clip sheath. So this is almost identical with much better jimping than I did. The hand cut jimping I did for David. I mean, it's almost identical. I got to do a video about this Ulti-Clip. This thing's a really cool design. I dig this. What was this? You're going to send me something to sharpen for shits and giggles. I'd rather you paid me. Like, the shits and giggles, I don't take that as payment. I got a text, sorry. Distracted. Yeah, I get emails. I get emails on a daily basis about the sharpening service, and I reach out to them and I'm like, yeah, here's the deal. Just call me and we can set something up, or text me at this phone number. And I don't ever hear anything again. Love my sea snake, but I've never handled the custom, but damn, it's sexy and well done. Here's the thing. I don't see that the sea snake, the custom ones, are any better. They're in a much different steel. You know what I'm saying? Greg Vanderlip, smash that like button. I can't see how many people have hit the like button, but you know, I'm kidding. It was a joke, Lacey. You said do it for shits and giggles. I'm like, I'd prefer to have money. I mean, pretty sure my wife would not be impressed with like an audio recording of you giggling in a bag of dog feces. Was this? I love my wee stonefish. I love the stonefish as well. I believe that had they listened to me and kept the price point a little bit lower, that knife would have done so much better. It would have. It was a great knife, great design, and they're still sitting on most of the stock because everybody loves a fixed blade. You know what no one loves? A $300 fixed blade. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're worth it. Cole has mine. I only have one. I have one of the prototypes. I gave one of the original prototypes with carbon fiber handles to Birdshot. I gave one of them to Elliot because Elliot helped me. He took my design from a finished knife in steel and turned it into a render that we could use for production. So I gave him one. I had a green one, had a tan one. I can't remember who got them all. I have one left. It's G10 20 CV. It's out to Cole right now. It's the only one of the sea snakes I've ever owned. It's great. And I love it. And I'm like, man, I really wish that we had went a different price point on it. Daniel, you missed the unboxing. I showed everybody the stuff you sent in for review. I haven't got to it yet. I've been so busy. So I did the whole first, I think like the first 45 minutes of the video is just me unboxing stuff. I like the SE knives. I like some of the top stuff. And I mean, they're just, top stuff is great, but they are what they are. They're plain Jane, straightforward, hard use knives. If you're looking for a beautiful, super well-finished, gorgeous knife, that's not what you're going to get. But I will tell you, they are great. I'm thinking about, there's another version of the stonefish that has been floating around my head and my computer and all my files. And I do have a dagger version of that knife that I'm trying to get done. So Daniel, Custom EDC Knives here, trusted me to sharpen his Rockstead. And I definitely should have charged you way more than I did, Daniel. But the fact that you let me use it and carry it, I was like, you know what? It's worth it. Because I'm not gonna lie, it literally took hours and hours and hours to get that. It's so hard. So hard. But it was so sharp. So what was I going to say? I don't remember what I was going to say. Hey, sharp thoughts. Yeah, the stonefish, like I said, the stonefish came out great. Let's see here. What did I miss? Custom stonefish or habu. Just made a habu for Matt. I'm going to have to get it. I think we're going to have to borrow Matt's habu that I made for him with his are always difficult. So his is a hollow ground S125V 67 Rockwell, 67 or above because it scores glass. Full hollow grind, deep hollow with Kevlar, lightning strike Kevlar handles. Thunderstorm Kevlar, lightning strike Kevlar. At any rate, it's the Kevlar. It's like he doesn't ever want anything normal. He always wants the most difficult materials to work with. What was this? Custom EDC knife. It's insanely sharp. My sharpening is the best in town. Jared does a good job. I don't do mine the same as Jared. My edges are definitely different. Like I get Jared's knives in and they're sharp, but they're a little bit different. Mine are all convex. You can see the roll of the edge, stuff like that. So it's definitely a different edge, but I'm not gonna lie, his edges are good. His edges are good. They're not edges I would want on my knife because I really like the convex edge that I do. So I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying that I'm cheaper. The first time that Elliot decided that he was going to start adding my sharpening service to his knives, he goes, well, we're going to figure it out. They're going to pay us. He's like, what do you typically charge? And I'm like, it's $25 to start. And then it goes up to like $35 in $5 increments. He goes, here's what we'll do. I'm charging them $35 and you get $25 per knife. And I'm like, that works for me. And I was like, wait a second. He's like, if I'm offering it on my website. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, let me tell you something. If you do it for fun or for free, you're a slut. But if you do it for money, you're a whore. Every whore has to have a pimp. And I was like, fair enough. Fair enough, Elliot. I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So we ran my edges on his knives for a long time. And then it just basically got to where they stopped doing the in-house knives and they basically would send people to me. Like, if you want it sharpened, get a hold of Mike. We'll give it directly to him. You can pay him, because it just became a pain to have it on the website. Everybody was like, oh, well, I wanted the Emler Edge. And they're like, it was an option at checkout. You should have checked it. So it just became a pain. So they took it off their website and just basically told people, like, if you want the aftermarket sharpening, tell Mike, you pay him, he picks the knives up, then he'll ship them out. And that worked out really well for a while, but they haven't been doing that's. I don't think that's even an option lately. I told you, Mike, you charge too little personally. I charge $30. I don't need to charge more than that, though. I'm fine with $25. And the thing is, everything's getting more expensive. And if I can make it a little cheaper, like, it doesn't, we've reached a point where I have enough stones and I've got all the stuff I need that I'm not wearing through stuff. I have duplicates of stuff. I've had people donate stones. I've got a really, really good profiling stone now. I can do it to whatever grit they want with some upcharges on certain things. And I'm really not putting myself out. My stones are going to last for a long time. I've got enough stones. I don't have to use my razor stones for knives, except in rare occasions, like that great big Bowie knife that I had come in. Definitely needed to use a larger stone for that, because it's really hard to sharpen a 21-inch Bowie knife on a 1/2-inch stone or a 1-inch stone. So I've reached a point where, like, if I can offer the customer, I don't even charge handling anymore. I just charge straight shipping. I used to add $5 for handling. I'm like, you know what? It's reached a point where everything is so expensive. If I can do it at my house here and I can do it and not financially hurt myself, like I'm only losing $10 per knife, really, in the big scope of things. But most people aren't getting their knives done to 12,000 grit. So I'm really not losing anything. It was $25 a knife to begin with. Now it's just $25 a knife all the way up to 10,000 grit. So that's all I've done. But most people have realized that like the 10,000 grit and stuff like that, that's cool. It's fancy. It's really nice if you got display knives. But on a lot of steels, 10, 12,000 grit edges, they don't do what you want. 1,000 grit edge on this. Well, 1,100. And I mean, most of my knives are at a lower grit. So I can literally, if I'm doing it and I'm in the zone and I'm paying attention, I'm watching a movie, I'm not paying attention to the stone and the knife, I can probably do 3-4 knives an hour. So it's really like $25. That's just, if I'm doing 3-4 knives an hour, that's not bad. It's just that like right now, I only have an hour's worth of work for sharpening. That's why I'm filming so many videos. So like I said, if I can make it easier on people, and the fact is, guys, if you're going to buy a sharpening set and a sharpening system, please don't do it on expensive knives. The last few sets of knives that came in have just been horror show. They've been horrible to sharpen. And it's because they're just screwing their knives up on these fixtured systems because everybody and their brother has been touting these fixtured systems. I have not. Like, I got upset with Jared. I was like, please stop showing these fixtured systems to people. If you want to use them, that's great, but stop selling them to people because, I mean, they're going to get those and they think they can sharpen a knife, and they're not. They're going to find out real quick that they just fucked up a $600-700 knife. Do you want to see one? Here, let me show you a nightmare that came in. Hang on. Uh-oh. There it is. There it is. I found it. I was about to poop myself. I'm like, oh God. So I had a customer reach out to me. He had gotten a Astio, Beg Knives Astio, field grade, but still very expensive knife. You guys know what an Astio looks like, right? An Astio looks almost exactly like a Norseman. Keep that in your head. Secondary point, all that stuff, right? Whoever he bought this from didn't show him good pictures of it. He asked me if I can fix that secondary tip. I can't fix that. I can sharpen it as is. It's going to be prohibitively expensive for me to take my stones and reestablish that secondary point. It's supposed to look like this. And it don't. Hang on. I'll pull one up. Beg Astio images. Trying to bring it up for you guys. So this guy sold this knife to someone after he fucked it up. Let me share a screen here. Chrome tab, Beg Knives Astio. This is what it's supposed to look like. That's what it's supposed to look like, guys. That's not at all what it looks like. You see what I'm saying? Look at that. That is so far off from what it should have been. Oh, it's not. It's a secondary grind. So it's a compound grind. It's ground this way, and then it has a flat. So it's a hollow here and then a flat grind that comes up. But that is not even close to what it's supposed to look like. And I had an Astio in. And the thing is too, the entire tip is just blunted and rounded off and nasty. And it's just, I'm like, whoever did that needs their ass removed. So guys, it's been a couple hours. 34 people here. You guys want to stick around a little bit longer? If you want to stick around longer, I will. Because I know Friday we had a short video because I forgot that I had to take Nico. Well, here's what I'm going to do. He already paid me to sharpen it. So I'm going to sharpen it as is, but he's going to, after it gets dull, he's going to get a hold of Mark Begg and Mattia Brani at Begg Knives and see if they can reblade it. So it's exactly, no, I don't think it looks like they used a wicked edge and just in and over, in and over, in and over. And I've, not gonna lie, I've had these come in that I've had to do like that. Gunter Grunge. Yup. All right, hang on a second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab. I have a beer in the refrigerator. I shall be back. Cutting. See the VDK knife sent you a picture of. I'm not gonna lie. I have not looked at much of the stuff that comes up. I'm gonna go grab a beer then. I'll be right back because I just drank some coffee, so I'm feeling up to another. Maybe we'll do another hour. We'll see. Here. Let's see here. What do I want to open this with? I have a plethora of bottle opening devices. I believe we'll go with my. No. I know what we're going to use. I know what we're going to use. We're going to use the Rat Bastard multi-tool. I have two Rat Bastard multi-tools. Let's see here. This is I got to be careful. I can't show it in the feed. Yeah, they completely rounded it. It's horrible. It's bad. Has anyone checked out the video Naf Sargent did about the Warren Tech prototype? I saw it pop up in my feed, and then like I said, I've been so busy that I haven't had a chance. I don't get a chance to watch a lot of the stuff I want. Like I drop into Jared's live feeds for a few minutes and then work on whatever I'm doing. Then I drop back in as much as I can. I love to give Jared that support, as much support as he gives me. Those views count. And then a lot of times I'll go back and I'll put his live feed on. If I don't get to catch it the day before, I'll put it up because he has ads running and that's ad revenue. Guys, if you don't catch a live feed, watch it the next day. Just let the ads play. It supports the channel. I actually get a lot of secondary views and all of that is monetized. I'll be getting a knife soon with a built-in bottle opener. The golfer knife that Eric Oakes designed is, there might be 6 knives in that video I filmed for office friendly carry. I forgot I've got that little Eric Oakes folder. So, but he made a golfer knife. He designed that knife, and my buddy Tino has one, and it's a good knife. Like, it's a really good knife. Which is better, views or watch time? Views, absolutely. That's how your revenue is done, is based on views. So, and I mean, like that initial ad is what it's based on. But if you stick around, like my videos typically have 2 or 3 ads in them. I make sure they're not non-skippable ads, so that if you're getting non-skippable ads, it's not my fault. That's Google. I put in a couple ads, 2 to 3, depending on how long the video is. You should be able to skip them. They're skippable ads. but that all adds to revenue.
Oh.
No, it is absolutely not watch time. My watch time is down 60%. It went from the average of about 12 minutes to an average of about 5 minutes, but my revenue has went up because of views. It's all based on views. So watch time is cool. Like that gets your channel out in front and people like, oh, they really like your videos. They watch them through. So your engagement's kind of important, but the fact is views are king. It's not watch time. It's not subscribers. Like if I don't get another subscriber and start getting videos, if I don't ever get another subscriber, but my videos start getting like 10, 12,000 views a day, I'm fine with that. They don't pay me extra for subscribers. Was checking it out the other night, Lefty's live. He was looking for a knife for his dad. I see. I use an ad blocker for all YouTube except when I'm watching knife content and I click on ads to help everyone out. Yeah, I got news for you. Like some of my ads are actually good. I watched one of my videos. I was like, I wonder what ads I'm getting. And I was watching, I was like, I'm getting some actual pretty good ads in my videos. And some of them were fun. There's a couple of ads that have popped up that I'm like, this is a cool ad. Some of the stuff that they've done like really creative ads lately on some of the YouTube videos. I'm like, that's actually pretty funny. Some of the ads they run are great. So there's a lot of times that like I don't have cable TV, so I watch YouTube. I don't watch anything other than YouTube or movies that I own on Amazon Prime or something maybe on Netflix. The only reason I haven't got real Netflix is there's a couple shows that my wife watches that are Japanese shows that she can watch here. And so she watches those and she likes The Blacklist and it's on YouTube on Netflix. So keep Netflix. My daughter and I use Amazon. I watch Paramount, but I get Paramount and Disney Plus for free. I got a coupon from a friend that basically because he has 2 phone lines, he's like, look, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use either one of these. I have 2 phone lines. I only need 1 Disney Plus account and I only need 1 Paramount Plus account. He's like, I have 2 vouchers. Take these. He's like, take them for your business. There you go. Now that I've given you the ones for my business line. So as long as he keeps those line, I get Paramount Plus and Disney Plus for free. Can you explain why a great knife maker would use D2, AUS8, AUS10, or when 14C28 is readily available? Problem is, it's not readily available. It's not. I've been trying to get Artisan to make a knife in 14C28N, and they're like, we can't get it. The closest they come was 12C, another Sandvik. It's not readily available. The thing is, you've got to buy massive amounts of it. Oh yeah, I didn't even pay attention to that. Thanks, Walt. Sorry about that. Let's put this back up. Walt, there we go. They're using steels that they have available. D2, I'm not gonna lie, D2, the edge you get with D2 is very similar. If you do a good job on your heat treat and you do a good job on your sharpening, the steel, the edge you get on D2 is very, very similar to 14C28N. Like in a blind taste test with a 600 grit edge done well on both steels, I would not really be able to pick it out unless it started to corrode. That would be my thing. So they're using what steels they have available. I don't know if you've noticed, steel production is incredibly expensive right now. 14C, while it's a budget steel, you got to buy a lot of it. It costs a lot to get it. AUS8, if it's heat treated well, like Cold Steel always did, it's not a bad steel. I've got a bunch of knives in AUS8 that Cold Steel did, and they're great. They really are. I prefer 14C. I'll tell you what I really like, and I can't wait till my Valona comes back. DC53, another budget D2 style steel that's harder and more corrosion resistant. It's great. It's basically feels like 14C28N. So it's a lot of it has to deal with A lot of it has to deal with availability of those steels, workability of those steels, things like that. So 154 CM. 154 CM is another good steel. It's getting late. I'm trying not to bang this too much. It's almost 10 o'clock here in San Diego. I don't want to piss my neighbors off on a Monday night, fucking ringing a goddamn cowbell. What was I talking about? 154 CM is a good steel. It's not one of my favorites. It's okay. I miss ATS 34. I've got 2 knives in ATS 34. They're great. Bob Terzola and I were talking about that in a live feed for the 24-hour knife rights thing. I take a good heat treat D2 than a brick of poor heat treat S35VN. I will tell you, some companies S35VN is money. Artisan Cutlery's S35VN is some of the best out there. And I know that Artisan gets overlooked and everybody's going, oh, it's a Chinese company. Artisan is not a Chinese company. However, they do have their stuff made at a production house in China. Artisan is an American company. CJRB, their kind of sister company, is a Chinese company. But the owners are best friends. So David that owns Artisan, U.S. citizen, U.S. business, CGRB, they're like this. They share the same production house. So a lot of times their stuff gets grouped together because the guys at CGRB can't come to States for shows. And so David basically handles a lot of that for them. So, but I'm not gonna lie. S35VN on the Artisan stuff, money. It is so good. Let's see who else does S35VN really well. Greg Medford, the knives that he's done. There was a couple S35VN knives that Greg Medford did that were fucking nuts. Rick Hinderer did an S35VN blade in that. What was the one that the XM24 that I did for Aiden? Probably the hardest S125V I've ever worked on. Took forever to sharpen. Got crazy sharp. Little plug. It did, but it was ridiculous how sharp it got. Then there's some companies that don't do it as well. Riat does a really good job with it. If you've ever had any of their knives in S35VN, it's a matter to heat treat. You know what I'm saying? So let's see here. Oh, the Farron Forge We Knife Company, the Farron Forge Stinger, or not Farron Forge Stinger, the Farron Forge Gent that I have in S35VN. This is great. I have all their Cold Steel's S35VN. I've only sharpened one knife in it. It was really good. I'll tell you what they did good. I'm not a fan of XHP. I find XHP gets a gritty edge that I don't like and things like that. I got a Cold Steel knife in XHP and it came in great. From what I can tell from the one knife that Cold Steel had done in S35VN, the one I've sharpened, it seemed like it was really close to the same heat treat hardness and things that I'm getting out of like this Gent and this Mastiff, which is absolutely not an office friendly carry. That is a monster. But the steel on this is insane. The edge it takes is great. The thing with S35VN is you just can't take it to a ridiculously high grit. After I found about 1,000 grit, it loses its tooth. Well, I say that, but there's some stones that it does really good on. If you're doing it on the traditional, like actual water stones I have, the expensive ones that I don't break out unless I'm doing like an ultra expensive straight razor or something like that. That is, it does good on that. You know who does excellent? I'm going to say you're wrong because I have two knives that they have here at the house that were an S125 or a S35VN. Oh, pardon me. Well, one of them is an S35VN. It's okay. The other one is in their OS 8, and it was horrible. Sorry, guys. This happens every time I drive downtown. Every time I go downtown, I wind up sneezing later. I found that Kaiser does good S35 yen. Yeah, Kaiser's. Holy crap, guys. Sorry. Kaiser does do good S35 yen. I've never been a fan of SOG's steel treatment, and Jesus Christ, I'm gonna sneeze for the rest of the live feed. Hang on. Holy crap. You want to know another steel that I really like? Whew. Another steel I really like that doesn't get very much respect is N690. Some of my favorite knives that I own are in N690. Two of my Farron Forges are in N690. My Mordax and my NTAC are both in N690, and I think it's great. It's not going to go away. Thank you. I want to take a drink of that, but I'm afraid I'm going to spray beer everywhere. N690, if it's heat treated well, does take a nasty look at my eyes. Guys, I'm allergic to something. Let me close that garage door. It might be something that's coming in from outside. Might be CTS XHP. I just sharpened some Maximet here not too long ago. A couple knives in Maximet. Jesus. You can make a strop really easy. I'm going to tell you what, the strop I used for years and it just finally fell apart was an old belt that I had used I had strapped across the top of a 2x6 and screwed down at the ends, and then took another piece of belt to go over where the screws were so I wouldn't hit them, and screwed leather over top of those, and then screwed a base on it, and I just would put it on my workbench and I would strap it up. It was just a belt on a piece of 2x4. Like, there's a lot of money that gets thrown into straps and you don't need to. I'm about to make another one. I have an old belt that I'm going to get rid of, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it on a piece of 2x4. I'm going to make myself a bench strap, and I'm going to try some of that. I don't like. Okay. I'm real good friends with Ryan at KPL. Like I said, I've never bought a KPL product. I haven't. He sent me all of it, and I dig it. It's not that it's because it was free. I really find it to be the best lubricant for knives that I've found. But he doesn't make a stropping compound. And Jared keeps telling me I need to try that Gunny Glide stropping compound on a leather strap. And I'm like, okay, I just need to do it. I need to pull the trigger on it. He says it cuts well and all that. It just doesn't last like some of the stuff I'm used to using. So I am going to have to get some. Damasteel is still one of those steels that just gets ridiculous. So my tops are RWL 35 and Damasteel because they're basically the same composition. RWL 34 and Damasteel take a ridiculous edge. After that, if you're talking about just edge, I like 14C28N. I like that new DC53. I like M390. Follow closely. Now there is a difference. I'm gonna be real clear on this. I'll go back to it. I like M390 closely followed by 20CV. I'm not such a fan of 204P. And the reason I say this, it has nothing to do with steel composition. It's the powdered metallurgy, how clean it is and how well it's done. Böhler Udelholm is on like their 5th generation of powdered metallurgy. So they've really got it figured out. CPM, 20CV, Carpenter Specialty Metals or whatever it is, CPM. they're on like Gen 2. So there's still inconsistencies and things like, so when you get down to it, the edge on M390 is crisper, it's cleaner, it's more consistent, but not by much. After that, you'd be looking at after 20 CV M390, like I said, DC53, 14C28N. Oh, N690CO is great. That Bastinelli Acheron Knives collab that Winston Cabretti gave me is a nightmare at 8,000 grit. It is a, I'll grab it. It's right there. It stays in the pocket of my sweatshirt a lot of the time. And it is just ridiculous. I've been using it, so I say that and I'm like, I get a piece of newspaper and do a cut test and show them, and I'm like, yeah, watch it, catch up, because I use this to cut up some cardboard because it's really comfortable. But that's at 8,000 grit. I don't know if I've cut anything with it. Let's get ourselves a piece. It's nasty. It is a nasty steel. It takes it's like this would fuck someone up. That's a cut you're not coming back from. That's a cut that is not going to at all be forgiving. I like Crewwear. I liked Crewwear. It's pretty good. I will send you. Oh, is this cutting lace? What, I don't know. I send you a knife to sharpen. I will send you some Gendy Diamond emulsion to test. You'll love it. I have the spray emulsion. I really just want to try the stuff that Jared was telling me about, just because I want to give it a fair shot. You know what I mean? So I got so many knives. Like my wife comes out and she's like, why are there so many knives everywhere? And you guys are on videos like, where do all these knives keep coming from? I set myself up for success on these videos. I have knives laid out everywhere. I'm lying. The garage, there's just like, walk in my garage any given time, there's knives fucking everywhere. Like literally everywhere. They're on the shelves. They're on stuff. Do I have spray like DMT spray? I have the, okay, so the stuff I use is the stuff that Edge Pro sells. It's the 10 karat diamond emulsion spray, and I use that on my balsa wood strop. I need to get a new balsa wood strop. That one I have is pretty much shot. No matter how much I clean and sand it and stuff, it's just not lasting the way I want. So I've never been a fan of diamond on leather, but Jared was telling me that this stuff that he got, the Gunny Glide stuff that he got, is great on that leather. And I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna have to give it a shot and see. So I'm not I like 1 micron. Like 1 micron's my go-to. A lot of times if I'm sharpening something that I'm going to, like if I'm taking something to a show, I'm taking a 10, 12,000 grit anyway. And then I'm going to strop it on 1 micron just for looks. A lot of times the edges that I do, I can get a mirrored toothy edge. Like I said, this is 8,000 grit and this is aggressive as shit, but that has a lot to do with the method I sharpen it, the method I strop it, and things like that. This literally is like if you were cutting with this and I told you it was 8,000 grit, you wouldn't believe me. Like it wants to peel your fingerprints. It just bites all day. And that has a lot to do with technique and the types of stones. So I kind of disagree with some of the stuff Jared talks about when he talks about the carbide not tear out, but the carbide rip out and things like it when they shatter. He's talking about super hard carbides. Most of the carbides you're going to come across in a steel. If you're talking about like super, super hard steels, like Rex 121, things that have like titanium carbide and things like that, or tungsten carbide and stuff like that are super, super hard, like 9 on a Rockwell. Yeah. I mean, because the stones I use are 9 on or 9 on the Mohs hardness scale. The carbides are 9 on the hardness scale. Yeah. You're not actually cutting them. He's absolutely right on that. But most of the knives that most of us are going to carry that aren't in those insane steels, the carbides on them are under 9. and the stones I'm using are at a 9. S90V, I've never had problems sharpening S90V at all. But then again, I have the proper stones for it. So I have ceramic, and I have like a ceramic stone is going to cut most of those carbides. Because most ceramic is basically just synthetic sapphire. Aluminum oxide, vitrified aluminum oxide is sapphire. The color you get in a sapphire is dissolved sapphire, ruby, emerald. A lot of those are just vitrified aluminum oxide with some impurity in it that imparts a color. Sapphire, being the blue that you get, is actually titanium. Titanium that gets in. Actually, no, titanium is rubies. I forget what makes the blue cut. At any rate, it's vitrified aluminum oxide. And so your ceramic plates that you get from Spyderco and stuff like that are just basically vitrified aluminum oxide, which is just a great big plate of synthetic sapphire. And so, yeah, you're dealing with something that's really going to cut really well. I do have to admit, there are steels out there that you absolutely need a diamond for. Maximet, you're not cutting it. You're not going to fucking sharpen it without diamonds. Some of the shit that fucking Big Brown Bear does. I see somebody put it up here. Some of the stuff Big Brown Bear does, when you get up to some of those super hard steels that he's doing, you're not going to be able to do it without diamond. You have to. But I have diamond stones. I have ceramic stones. I have silica carbide stones. I have aluminum oxide stones. I have ceramic stones. I have natural water stones. I have natural oil stones. I've got stones to cut any type of steel. And so I agree with what Jared's saying. It's absolutely true. But like what he forgets to note is that he's not talking about all steels. That's not all steels. That's those super steels. And that's the problem, is people hear one thing and then they latch onto it. Like I had somebody tell me, he's like, "Oh, don't sharpen knives with diamond. You're going to dissolve the diamond into the steel." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then I'm like, "You can't. That doesn't happen." And he goes, "Well," he's like, "Yeah." He sends me this thing, and it's machining at speed with temperature, and machining with diamond. That's why you're supposed to use CBN. Now my nose is running. And everybody wants to quote that and say, "Oh, the diamond dissolves into the steel." No, it doesn't. That's only when you are adding the element of high-speed machining and heat. That's when you have to worry about that. But I'm doing it. There is no friction. There's no heat. So there's no danger. But yet people will latch onto that. And they kept, no, you're wrong. Here's the article. I'm like, go back, please read it. They're talking about machining at temperature. So that's why I'm really careful when I talk about that. Like I said years ago, I didn't believe in carbide tear-out. And everyone lost their shit. There was a live feed where I had people like threatening my daughter's life because I said I didn't believe that carbide tear-out was a thing. Here we are 5 years later, and everybody's talking about the fact it's not carbide tear-out. If you're sharpening some steels with the, and I'm like, see, that's what I was saying. I didn't believe in it. I was like, I don't believe it. It's like unicorns and Bigfoot. Everybody talks about it, but ain't nobody ever seen it. Now, I will agree with Jared. What Jared was saying is on some of those super hard steels, what you're doing is you're removing material around it and stuff like that, and it would allow some of that to break, and it degrades it and stuff like that. I do agree with that on those super hard steels, but that's the thing too. Like I wish Jared would be more clear about that. They're talking about those super hard carbides like tungsten carbides and titanium carbides and some of the weird vanadium carbides that you get in some stuff. Yeah, I'll admit you can't cut those with aluminum oxide, but I'm cutting with diamond. So, I mean, most of the time, if I'm working on any steel that's that hard, if I'm doing like S125V, S90V, 20CV, a lot of times I'm using diamond. So I'm not running that risk. So it's not tear out though. Like I said for years, it's not tear out. And then Tom, is this what you're talking about? Tom Hussein's video? Yeah, I'll agree with that. That part I'll agree with. Like you could crack and shatter some of those carbides and then they're not as effective. So I mean, I said it for years. People were like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and this and that. As much as I loved Cliff's stamp before he passed, Cliff would say it. And he was like, well, you know this. And I was like, I don't believe you. I've looked at it under a microscope. I'm not seeing any tearing out of. And so, you know, but like I said, those harder steels, pretty much anything above S125V, I'm probably going to be using diamond because it cuts faster. And, you know, I have that, like, I have that Atoma plate thanks to Jared and HPV Diva. I mean, Lacey, because they told me how good it was. And I'm not gonna lie, it cuts so much time out. Was it expensive? Yeah. Yeah, it was expensive. But it's already saved me enough time that it, you know, it's basically paid for itself. I literally reprofiled S110V, which typically on some of my others diamond stones, typically would take me like 30, 40 minutes, maybe 10 minutes most to completely reprofile S110V. So the other thing I have is like that stone cuts different. I have some diamond stones that are very aggressive, but the problem is it's like when you've got a file and now you've made a track and you're not actually, when when you're filing on steel and it's removing a lot of material at first, and then it kind of just like it stops. Well, what you got to do is you got to get a finer file, because what you've done is now you've cut grooves in that the teeth are like skipping. So now there's these little spots. And so you get a track built. Well, the same thing with those super aggressive stones I have. That Atoma doesn't do that. It continues to cut. And I don't have, so what I would have to do is I'd have to use that 80 grit diamond and then go to like a 250 grit diamond, remove some of the scratch pattern, then go back to the really aggressive one. So, you know, there's limitations on anything. It gets to a point where it cuts and now you've got that scratch pattern in and you're not actually removing that much material because the diamonds are basically just falling into that track again. And you've got these high spots where it's not cutting. What was this? I just take what Mike recommends to me ages ago. The majority of steels I use on a regular S35VN. Mike said up to basically exactly what Cutting Lace said, 600, 1,000, all you need. I like some steels. I do like that's 8,000 grit on this, and it's great. I just like to see what steels you can push past that 1,000 grit. S35VN, I don't really like taking S35VN beyond that 1,000 grit mark. I find that it just kind of loses its tooth. It just kind of doesn't do what you want. This N690 Cobalt does not. Some S35VN, depending on a heat treat, but like my Sabenza, 600 grit. It's all the further I go. It's got a good edge. 600 to 1,000. Some steels I like to take above that, like I said. But yeah, usually about 1,000 grit for my personal users is what they get. This PMP Big Boy, 1,100 grit on a diamond, the diamond matrix stone from Edge Pro, the ones that David Scott makes for them over there. It's great. But I've also taken 14C28N all the way to 10,000 grit, and it's still as aggressive if you're using the right stones. This is one of those stones that I definitely would use diamond on. It just depends on the steel and it depends on the heat treat. I like to experiment with stuff. Mike, have you ever tried Big Brown Bear's vitrified diamond stones? They are too expensive. They're way too expensive. I can't afford them. There is no point for me right now where I would go, yeah, I can afford that, because I can't. I already have a bunch of other diamond stones. So yeah, you know, but I tried them at a knife show the one time. There's a video of me doing it. Nico filmed it while I was, sometimes, I mean, like some knives, where's it at? This has got but this is, okay, M390 is another steel that's 10,000 grit on that. Still nasty aggressive. nasty aggressive. This is the knife that I handed to Jim Scout, and he's like, "You guys with those mirrored edges," and I was like, "Well, this is 10,000 grit." And he goes, "You get these stand and they just won't cut, and they're not aggressive." And he was like, "Okay, in your case, I'm going to disagree." He's like, "Good God!" The look on his face when he felt the edge, and he was like, I was like, I saw him put his thumb on it. I was like, "Please don't slide your thumb, please don't." And he was like, "Okay." In your case, I'm going to vehemently disagree with what I just said. So M390 is one of those deals. Same with this. Like this, if you put your thumb on this, do not move your thumb. You're going to bleed. You're going to need a Band-Aid. So VG10 does okay with a near mirror polish, but it will be more aggressive and cut better at 600. I typically don't take VG10 above 1,000. Especially in a kitchen knife. As a matter of fact, my kitchen knives are at 400 grit. And then I strop them. I give them a good strop to take a little bit of the tooth off, but not much. Because I have news for you, 400 grit edge on a good kitchen knife, a nice thin kitchen knife, if you can't cut it with that, it's probably frozen. Cool. Well, I mean, like I said, the only thing that would slow me down is, like I said, my wife has to have surgery. I'm going to try and keep up the content stuff, but you know, it's sharpening definitely makes me more money than a YouTube channel if it's consistent. So, like I said, I can always do sharpening live feeds on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If I have enough stuff to do, I'm going to try and do one tomorrow morning, but I still have to, I want to try and film and get ahead on stuff. I only do a mirror polish on, well, I found ways to, so there's ways to kind of trick. You guys want to trick, since we're doing this for another 37 minutes, you guys want to hear a little tip? If you want to have a, let's say 600 grit edge, that you want to be a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, you take that 600 grit edge and you get your strop and you put your diamond complex compound on it or whatever you're using, and you lightly strop it, not pushing down. What you're doing is you're not stropping off and polishing off, because that's like a 1 micron strop is a very, very fine sharpening stone. So you could feasibly smooth those serrations out. So what you do is you just lightly strop a couple passes at a time and keep checking your edge. And what you're doing is you're hitting the tops. You're not actually changing the micro serrations at the apex. They're still going to be deep. What you're doing is you're flattening the tops of those grooves a little bit, and it gives the more polished appearance. And so it will look a lot more polished than it is actually at the apex. It's kind of an optical illusion, because what you've done is you've flattened the tops, but not the bottoms. So when it comes up to the apex, it's still real toothy. There you go. There's a little tip. So you can get a polished edge, a more polished looking edge at a lower grit that way. You just got to remember, don't use any pressure and don't over strop, or you're going to burnish that off and it'll be a lot more smooth. It won't be slick, but it won't be as aggressive. So, and then you got stuff like 14C that's just aggressive no matter what grit you take it to. What is this? 14C, yeah, that's what I was saying. 14C does really well up there. I threw 16K. Yeah, it's still aggressive. That's what I did with the wife's Aqua and my shredder. Used 800 grit, a coarse amount of pressure, then made a big difference as well. Yeah, you can drop the angle on a strop by 5 degrees per side, lower grit with zero pressure, and pretty up the bevel without losing much bite. Yeah, if you're cautious about how you're doing it, it should be fine. Somebody is running a lawnmower at 10:09 p.m. I'm not a fan of micro bevels, mainly because you can see them. I prefer a convex that goes all the way up. You can't see a secondary bevel on a convex, and you get the same effect. So you've got the whole thing with a micro bevel. So guys, like, people have asked why I don't like micro bevels. It's just teach yourself how to do a convex. The whole point of a micro bevel is you've got more material behind the edge, and then the edge you want, like the thinner edge that you want at a thinner little angle, or you've got your edge and it comes up. But basically what you're doing is those are the things that you get in a convex, where you have that edge that comes up and then more meat behind it, and it supports your edge. So I don't like them because you can see the micro bevel, and I've never liked that micro bevel. That's why a lot of guys will send knives to me instead of Apostle P. I have a guy that's like, man, I would much rather bring my stuff to your house than send the stuff over to Rob at Apostle P and have to wait 6-8 weeks. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes there's a wait when I sharpen stuff, but life happens, and I'm trying to do several things at once. I'm still trying to bid contracts for construction. I'm still trying to do the sharpening. I'm still trying to do the videos. I got my hands on a lot of pies. I'm still trying to make knives when I have materials. So I still got my hands in a lot of stuff, but I don't think I've made anyone wait more than 2 or 3 weeks for their stuff to come back. And if they did, it was because I was sick. So headlamp and meth makes a guy think he's snow blowing. No, I think my next door neighbor is the landscaper pretty much for everybody that lives down here. And sometimes he's just getting back. If it was a long day, he does a lot. And so sometimes he'll if he's having a problem with mower, he tinkers with them. So he might just be trying to get everything set up for tomorrow and just testing at one of his lawnmowers, because it turned on, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then it turned back off. So I think he's probably just making sure his stuff's ready for tomorrow, because he mowed my yard, backyard, side yard, raked, cleaned in front of the garage, cleaned the sidewalks, trimmed my rose bushes while I was jury duty today. I just left the garden gate unlocked. Oh, they're 14C. The rake knives, I've liked them. You know what? I'm a fan of a steel frame lock occasionally. If it's done well, a steel frame lock, everybody's like, oh, steel frame lock, it's garbage. I'm like, then if it's so garbage, why are you putting a steel lock bar insert in? It's not that garbage if you're fucking putting a piece of steel in there. If a company does a good job with the weight reduction on a steel frame lock, it's good. Bro, my roses, he trimmed my roses back, and like a week later, I already had one huge rose that popped up. I'm in San Diego. It's 68 degrees in my garage, and I'm wearing a sweatshirt. That's why I don't come home back to Ohio. Like, my mom was like, yeah, I come back for Christmas. You don't ever come back. I'm like, frozen water still falls out of the sky. Are you crazy? I spent a lot of time in the tropics, because I'm in the southern Japan, in the tropics, where it's like fucking hot, like crotch pot cooking hot. Okinawa, where it's even hotter, and some really hot, dusty places in the middle of a shithole, Middle East. And I've lived in San Diego for 16 years now. I don't go home. My mom was like, you should come home and let that kid play in the snow. And I'm like, I should shit and fall in it too. As I said earlier, Apostle P ain't even getting back to people about sharpening, so I've recommended they look you up. Cool. Where are you at? I lived in University City and Claremont. I'm down south. I don't want to get too much into it. I don't want to have this stalker shit going on again. I'm down close to the border, like in the San Ysidro area. So San Ysidro is a big place. I can go ahead and say it. It's its own little city. So yeah. What is this? I've gotten nice people had to possibly do edges for them, and they were mad. There was just nobody. No, yeah, that's the other thing. He tries too hard. He tries way too hard to take them up to a mirror polish. And like I said, not all steels can support that. I've done it. Like, I have people that are like, I want a mirror polish. I'm like, you don't, but I'll do it for you. And then they get it back and they're like, it won't cut. And I was like, it's because I did exactly what you told me to do. And a lot of times I can dissuade them of that. Like people are like, I want you to do this. I'm like, you think you want me to do that? Like when I was modifying knives and doing refinishing and they're like, I want these colors. And I'm like, you think you want those colors because you think they would look cool. But I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want those colors. I'll tell you the colors that work: red and black, blue and gold, black and green. Those are the colors that work well together. Anything else, like I want purple, I want pink and purple. No, you don't. No, you don't. It looks like something out of a Dr. Seuss book. You don't want that. It doesn't look good. So I try my best to dissuade people, but sometimes you get people like I had a guy that told me he wanted a 10-degree inclusive. And I was like, no, you mean you want 10 degrees per side, 20 degrees. And he goes, no, I want 10 degrees inclusive. I was like, at 5 degrees per side. And at the time I still had a fixtured system and I measured it out and I did it for him. And if you touched that edge with your thumbnail, it was like tinfoil. It would just flex and deform and everything. And I did it. I'm like, there you go. Sent it back to him. He goes, what the fuck do you do with my knife? Like I cut one thing and it's dull. And I'm like, it's because I told you didn't want that. He's like, I want my money back. You fucked me. This and that. I was like, no, you kind of fucked yourself. And I was like, this is the text list of all the times I told you, I don't think it's a good idea. This is not going to work. This is not what you want. And I was like, I did exactly what you want. Measure that. That is 5 degrees per side, 10 degrees inclusive. That is what you told me. I asked you if you wanted 10 degrees per side, 20 degrees inclusive, and you said no. You wanted 10 degrees inclusive, which is 5 degrees per side. Yeah, I did it. He was paying me for it. And I was like, all right, it's going to be extra because I got to take off a lot of material. I was like, all right, bro, here you go. I'm going to go. And he went on Reddit and was like, he did this and this and this. And then I went on Reddit and all I did was put up a screenshot. So I'm like, here you go. Did exactly what he wanted. So guy talked himself out of money because he knew the edge would be better at a lower grit. Shows the integrity, Mike. Yeah, it rolled. Yes, it definitely rolled. What was this? What are we talking about here? Dean, I was that guy. Oh, yeah, that's right. You had, well, I forget what it was. And you wanted like a 12,000 grit mirror finish. And I was like, I don't think you want that. I really don't think you want that. Like the whole thing is like 4K, 4,000 grit. That's pretty mirrored anyway. And I don't think I even took it all the way to 4K. I think I took it to, no, I did. I took it to 5K. I don't have a 4K. I took it to 5. No, I did. I took it to 4K on the diamond stones. So Johnny Quesadilla, super sticker. I can't see what your super sticker is. I apologize. This is what I get. It just says super sticker. I wish I could see it, but thank you very much, Johnny Quesadilla. Somebody want to tell me what his thing. I'm not on YouTube. I'm on StreamYard. So there's a lot of stuff that, like if somebody puts up a Brocky boy or a Sharpie, the custom emojis I have set for him. Night Will, I can't see him. So this is what I get to see. I apologize, but thank you. Allow me to give you a ringy dingy ding. Hang on a second. I don't want to be too loud. And my kid's already in bed. I'm not like those other knife channels. I don't have a dainty little bell. I got a fucking cowbell with a bat. Soaking it all in. Spread it on. I'm so going to watch Super Troopers tonight while I'm figuring out how I'm going to film this video. Spread it on. With a shotgun. Paying for your knife education. If you really want to get into it, I have a membership where I have a sharpening tutorial series. Another thing that Jared does something, and it's because of the way he sharpens. Jared lifts his elbow to get his angle to marry up. And because I sharpen different, I can't raise my elbow. If I sharpened the way that Jared did, I would have to lift my elbow to maintain that angle. But the way I sharpen, because of the way I do it to get that convex. If I lift my elbow, I blunt the tip. So I know that I've told you guys, don't lift your elbow, don't lift your elbow, don't lift your elbow. If you're doing what Jared's doing, a lot of times you got to lift your elbow as you come around because you're on a table. So he's not doing what I'm saying. Because like if you're sharpening like this freehand, and you lift your elbow, you've changed your angle. So I'd have to look at it. But yeah, I mean, I haven't sharpened like that for a long time. So, but I've seen these edges. They're nice and consistent. So, but he's like, then you come around, you lift your elbow. I was like, stop telling people to lift their elbow. Like I tell them every time I do a video, don't lift your elbow. You're going to confuse them. I can't believe there is an empty beer box that has a hole that big in it where I just pulled the beer out and I threw it and I threw that thing right through there. He wouldn't quit. I ended up putting a mirror on it for him. All that lovely S90V bite gone. It was still sticky, but all that bite, I think 1,000 grits all the further I take. 1,000 grits all the further I take S90V. Well, let me see. I actually just resharpened my. Let me see. I can't remember what I did. I was testing something because I have some new stones. Yeah, 1,000 grit. I only took it to 1,000 grit. I didn't resharpen. That is aggressive at 1,000 grit. So, Johnny Castillo. I've seen Jared's short on that. Did you get a liter of cola? I don't want a large Farva. I want a liter of cola. Let's see. I'm going to end this in like 9 minutes. I can't think if there's anything else I wanted to show you guys that came in. Like I said, I have some videos that I'm working on. There's some videos that are already scheduled. Tomorrow's video is, hang on and I'll tell you what tomorrow's video is. Tomorrow's video is what is tomorrow? 22nd. Tomorrow's video is the Cerberus knives. I got in a prototype of Chris's new knife, the Satyr. I'll go grab it so you get a preview. I'll give you a preview of what you're going to see tomorrow. Now, this is not the finished product. There's going to be some changes. He already noted some of the changes. He's like, you're going to hate some of these things. I don't really hate it. I wish they'd already done it. This is the Satyr. It's a little thin. As you guys can see, there's limited lock bar access. And so it's kind of a pain to unlock, but I like so much else about it. I wish that the choil was a little bit bigger, but he told me that's going to change. So it lines up. I just have a hard time getting it, but this is a great little knife, micro milling. You guys are going to get to see a first look at that tomorrow at 6 a.m. But he also sent it to me to sharpen because it was a prototype, so it was hand done. And he goes, bro, it's not sharp. And he's like, the edge is pretty wrecked. And he was like, so I'm gonna send it to you for review, and then I'll pay you to sharpen it. I was like, cool. So good looking knife. You guys are gonna get to see this tomorrow. So too many people. What is this? What grit would you? Okay, hang on a second. You sharpen much Magna Cut yet? No, it's actually the knife that Murky sent me in Magna Cut. That no, not this one. The Steingraber, the Steingraber Shark is in Magna Cut. Oh no, it's in Crewwear. So no, I have not. I have not yet gotten to sharpen anything in Magna Cut. No one sends me anything to sharpen in Magna Cut. They're like, hey, have you got to sharpen Magna Cut? And I was like, yeah. They're like, I'll send it to you. And I'm like, I still have not sharpened fucking Magna Cut. The only thing I'm seeing at 6 a.m. is the back of my eyeballs. What would you recommend S45 to end grit? I mean, like it depends on what you're doing. Like mine is, I think, 1,000 grit, but that's because that is bushcraft outdoor knife, really, really thin bevel on that full convex. and it's nasty. So I think 600, maybe 1,000 on S45 would be fine. So too many people just overthink it. I got to expand this. Guys, I don't have my reading glasses. I'm sorry. Too many people just overthink it and do it too often and underestimate lower grits. There's a misconception with that as well. People think that the higher you go up in grit, the sharper the knife is. And it's not true. There are some things, like if you're cutting certain things that if you're cutting things you want a super fine grit, super fine edge and clean cut, like woodworking. If you're doing woodworking and you're using chisels and things like that, the finer you go up, the finer you go up in grit, the cleaner that cut, the less sharpening you have to do. Woodworking knives, kiridashis, things like that, you absolutely want to go as far up as possible. Straight razors, the finer the edge on the straight razor, the cleaner the cut, the less pull, less tug, less irritation. I take straight razors all the way to 12,000 grit and then strop them to 30,000 grit. Super smooth, mirror polished edge, less friction, less irritation. So that's where we're going. Woodworking tools like that kiridashi I have, you can use it like a chisel to do some cleanup and things like that, and marking and cutting notches that you might not want to have to sand. 12,000 grit on that, it's super fine. If you're cutting leather, patent leather, finished leather, and you're wanting to make shoes, the cleaner the cut, the better it's going to work, the higher the grit you want to go. So there's certain things you're going to want to do. If you are cutting rope and line and bait on a fishing boat, 400 grit. You want something that is going to bite and cut through fucking line, natural line, nylon rope, things like that. Sisal rope, 400, something aggressive to cut through that coarse, hard stuff. So it depends on what you're doing with it. That's why, like, you get by utility knife. Look at a utility knife. It's like 120 grit, and it cuts. Like if you're cutting through like paper, if you're cutting through cardboard, that's great. So a good all around in the middle is about 1,000 grit. Between 600, 4,000, right about where you want to be is about 1,000 grit. Greg Vander, love a good straight razor. Yeah, I had a dude that obviously, like, he came on and he was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Of course you have to put electrical tape. How else do you get a 17-degree edge on your straight razor? I was like, you put a 17-degree edge on a straight razor? That's like shaving. It's like shaving with a broken, the torn up soda can. A 17-degree edge on a straight razor is ridiculous. I'm like, and it was like Ramon the straight razor guy. I'm like, Ramon the straight razor. I was like, you have no idea what you're talking about. A straight razor's angle is set by the spine. You lay the entire thing on it, and that way the spine marries to the edge, and you constantly have the same edge throughout the wear of the razor. And I'm like, either you are too lazy to do it the proper way, or you have no idea how to sharpen a straight razor. I was like, I have sharpened straight razors for companies. I've sharpened straight razors as the primary sharpener, straight razor sharpener for San Diego for every art of shaving, every straight razor they've ever sold at one point before they closed the main store and the guy that I was dealing with left. Every straight razor that got sold in San Diego at an art of shaving came with my business card. And I always have return customers when it comes to straight razors, because I do it right. I do it the right way. But like, guys, you got to use how else are you going to maintain 17-degree angle? You're going to wear your spine down. Like, if you're putting a 17-degree angle on a straight razor, that's like wiping before you poop. It makes no goddamn sense. Oh, it'd be hideous. Hideous. I've made a straight razor. I gave it to Nico. He's like, dude, it fuck works. It's like, that's a clean shave. I made a Japanese style straight razor and get it for Nico. So, I mean, obviously I don't need it. I don't know, guys. There may be a shave in the future. I don't know. I haven't done it for a while. So what I want to do is I want to get this. I think would be amazing to film now that I have a huge area in my bathroom where I can set up an area and shave. I may shave with one of these. Pick one of my thinner knives. I'm going to cheat. I am going to take it to like 12,000 grit, strop the ever living dog shit out of it. But I may do shaving video. Kyle, if you go back into the Wayback Machine through the thousands of videos I have, you will find a video of me sharpening a butter knife and shaving with it. You'll find me stropping this and shaving with it. You will find me sharpening and shaving with a Bowie knife. You will also find a video of me shaving with a cold steel Vietnam tomahawk that I sharpened the shit out of. So if that doesn't convince you of the merits of my sharpening service, nothing will. Guys, I know I just grew it back. Like it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while before I do it, but I haven't done it for a while. And those videos always seem to do well. Like people seem to love them. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get one of my friends to come over and I'll shave them. Like people are like, oh, I wouldn't let you shave me. My buddy Clint was like, I'll let you shave me. He's like, I just don't grow enough of a beard to even make it worth you fucking doing a video shaving me. And he was like, and people are like, really? You'd let him shave me? It's like, that motherfucker shaved his wife's legs with a straight razor before they went to a party. I did. I've shaved my wife, like my wife and I got ready to go somewhere. And she's like, because it's such a good, clean shave. So you get such, like she wanted her legs to look perfect. She was like, could you do it? And so we got the bucket and I sat down and I lathered up her legs, and I love my wife's legs. My wife has gorgeous legs. I'm not going to screw those up. And I was like, I shaved my wife's legs before we went to a party with a straight razor. So yeah, he's like, I saw him do that. Like Clint was there and he walked in, he stopped by. He's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, we're going to a party. I'm shaving the wife's legs. He goes, good God, you've got steady hands. So the butterfly knife was gas. Yeah, the butter knife. Yeah, that thing shaved so well. That butter knife got so sharp. Guys, I know there's still 23 people here. I have other things I need to do. It's 10:30 at night. I want to turn it off. I go change. So I'll let you shave my back. On that note, for all the new folks here, we're going to count it down and then I'll say goodbye. Only because not everybody got to see the intro for the intro countdown. I love it. So don't leave yet. Stop leaving. Stick around. Let's do this. Then I'll say goodbye.
29.
28.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
22. 21.
20.
19.
18.
17.
16.
15.
14.
13. 12.
11.
10.
8.
6.
6. What happened to 7?
7.
5.
4.
3.
2. 1. 0.
Guys, I'm out. This has been a blast. I love y'all. Seriously, thanks for hanging out. I'm sorry that Friday's live feed was so short. Am I bleeding? The fuck? Oh, no, it's just hair. So, guys, I'm out. I love y'all. Video goes up at 6 this morning. If you didn't watch the video that went or 6 tomorrow. If you didn't watch the video that went up today, the more Myalea, I really do like that knife. I like it a lot. I like the fact that Swags did such a good job, and she actually did a really good job designing that. People are like, oh, it's a chick making a knife. So what? It's like, no, it was a chick making a very good knife. I just wished it was bigger, and then they made it bigger because at 6'3", 230 pounds, when I sat down, it came out of my pocket. I got tired of hearing it clatter out on the ground. So I gave it away to you guys. Guys, I'm out. I love y'all. See you Wednesday, maybe tomorrow. There may be a sharpening live feed tomorrow. Depends on what I get done. So I'll see you guys later.